Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Someone says, what's the future? Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. What's going on, guys? Hope you've been doing well. Dude, this movie got me so hyped up. I've been wanting to do more Sonic stuff. And I'm like, you know what? That intro, I was thinking about it as I was playing. That almost works well for a Sonic channel. I'm not sure I'm going to become one, but I might start doing some more content related to this movie. But let me bring in a guest who I haven't had on in a little bit. Let me go ahead and I don't have a Sonic related intro. But oh, you know what? There is one that I want to add, some bad voice acting for Sonic Adventure, but for now he's gonna make a name for himself.
Oh, this is gonna be good. You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
What's going on?
Oh, I popped out of my daddy's nutsack ready. That's how good I'm doing.
That's good.
I got something Sonic related right
Yeah?
here behind me. I went to Florida SuperCon to meet Ella Purnell and all that, and while I was there, Roger Craig Smith was there, so I got a copy of Sonic Frontiers signed.
Oh, nice. How is it?
It's okay. I played the Steam version. I literally bought the PS5 version only so I'd have a physical one for him to sign.
Yeah.
But the Steam version's pretty litty. I think if you want like the best Sonic experience right now, you should get Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Oh, is it good?
It's really good.
Sonic Generations, or is it with
Sonic X Shadow Generations? It's two different campaigns. They added a new one for the re-release.
But I'm saying, is it the same game just with Shadow added, basically?
It has the same like Sonic Generations game, but it has a Shadow campaign as well.
Oh, awesome. All right. I'll definitely have to get it. I don't have right now. I still haven't played Stellar Blade, but I decided I was either going to get that or I decided on, because it was cheaper and I already had enough. My Christmas list is basically a couple of comics and then mostly just stuff because I was setting up my company and I'm like, well, I still have to get some more stuff for conventions. So with stuff like bags and boards, a portfolio binder, like a bunch of like not super fun stuff, but that I know I need for my business is basically what my list was.
Nice. Yeah, my Christmas lists normally comprise of stuff for my collection.
Yeah.
I just punch in. I open my phone, I go to my notepad, I pick like 12 miscellaneous items from the collection list, and then I just shove it in that. And then anything else essential or from the heart, I'll take. But like as far as stuff I want goes, is normally that. But when I finally get my indies up and running off the ground, I'll probably be in the same boat as you. For now, I'm still hyper focused on like the writing aspect of it.
Oh man, it's so much. Yeah, I want to do. If there were 10 of me, I could do all the content I want to do.
Oh, dude, if I was multiple man,
yeah,
it'd be game over for everyone. If I was multiple man or Dr. Manhattan, you couldn't stop me.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's never enough time in the day, never enough
days in a week, weeks in a year.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Sonic 3. I'm gonna say it's my favorite movie of the year so far. I haven't been going to the theaters much this year, granted.
Trying to think what all came out this year.
Deadpool and Wolverine. I like it more than Deadpool and Wolverine.
I don't like this movie more, but it's another good one. I saw that movie Heretic with Hugh Grant.
Was it good?
It was good. Me and my brother both saw it. We both agreed it was good. It was one of the first times ever where like a small budget indie horror type deal actually like didn't feel like a waste of time when you got to the end. Because you know how like A24 movies have those weird ambiguous endings that are just there to mess with you.
Oh my god.
You're like, oh, okay.
What did it really mean?
That was 2 hours I'll never get back, thanks.
Yeah, and then they want you to think about it, and normally I'm like, Yeah, I thought about it. No, I really don't care enough to like.
Tell me, did you watch the Knuckles series on
I haven't
Paramount
yet. Did
Plus?
you?
You haven't?
No, it's about when I was watching the movie and then it cut to that part with. I'm like, oh great, they made a Knuckles series. I'm like, I gotta watch that. Is it good?
It's okay. It's
Oh.
okay. It's more like the Wade Whipple series.
Oh, is that guy the main character?
He's not quite the main character. He just has a lot more screen time than you would expect. Like Knuckles is there, but Knuckles is like it's like a buddy cop type scenario situation with him and Wade, and it kind of works, but it also kind of doesn't because Wade is a character who's only really funny when he's used sparingly. So when he takes up 50% of the runtime, you're like, oh, I don't know about this guy.
Gotcha.
But the Hound from Game of Thrones is the main villain, so it's pretty cool.
It's a human villain.
It's he's called the something like the distributor, the dealer, or something like that. He like builds weapons and sells them. So he's like a Dollar General Eggman, but because he's played by a Game of Thrones actor, you don't really notice.
Gotcha. So we're gonna talk about Sonic 3. So thoughts on the movie real quick. So well, first of all, is Knuckles worth watching? Because I don't have Paramount Plus.
I think it's worth one watch because it still has that healthy amount of Easter eggs for Sonic fans.
Okay.
So
are Sonic and Tails in it at all?
Yes, they're in the first episode.
All right, cool.
And then the rest is Knuckles and Wade.
And then I guess he ends up back
Wade.
with the other characters by the end of it, because at the start of this
one,
yeah.
He just goes on like side quest. It's a side quest show. That's why it's only like I want to say like 6 episodes, maybe.
Are the episodes like 40 minutes or are they like 20 minutes?
I don't remember. I'll be so real. That show is not that memorable. It's clearly only made to keep interest in the Sonic movie universe in between the movies.
Well, that definitely worked because 1 and 2 came out pretty close together. Right?
It works like a charm. I think they're gonna do it again. They're gonna have another in-between series. I heard whisper on the wind that they're planning on doing something for Shadow.
Ooh.
But this is allegedly. I don't know. I have zero actual valid evidence of this, but allegedly some Paramount guy during an interview said if Sonic 3 does well enough, they'll upgrade his mini-series into a movie.
Let's go.
So we'll have to see. If that
Shadow the Hedgehog. They play like All of Me. That would be I'd actually see it.
I'd be a fan. I'm terrified. I'm still terrified of the not 0% chance that we'll see a live action Bio Lizard. I don't want to see that.
Wait, Bio Lizard. What was that? Is that the villain?
Sonic Adventure 2. The big red
boss, right?
The big red cyborg gecko thing in Sonic X Shadow Generations. You fight him again, and he was not made for like 4K modern graphics. Oh, it's horrifying to look at. So like I'm like,
good way or in a
good way. In a good way. You're meant to be off put by the first failed attempt at the ultimate life form. So yeah, when you see that, I just hope that never makes its way to live action because we don't need that. We don't need that. That's nightmare fuel and a half.
So how much Sonic Generations, when did that come out, Shadow? Because I think I saw the trailer recently.
The Sonic X Shadow Generations came out this year. I want to say October, probably.
Okay, because it's already on. You know what? I'll make it a point that I actually have to play some of the fucking games I have instead of just buying new ones and saying I'll play them.
I have a huge backlog that I need to.
Me too. Through. Same with comics. I'm like, I'll buy some more, and my to read pile is like.
My to read pile is
not
actually
even including
really
my digital to read pile.
It's really easy to go through because I just have a stack by my bed and I read a little before bed, and then what I'm still reading I'm able to bring into my clear bag to my day job. So I'll just read a little during my lunch break. So I'm chipping away at the to read pile, but I have this inane obsession with streaming every single game that I play. So I only chip away at my gaming backlog when I'm streaming.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
but I don't
started doing.
stream. But I don't stream a lot anymore because I'm writing so much right now. So I don't.
Yeah,
My
I know the
gaming,
feeling.
my to play pile is growing more and more. I'll put it
Yeah.
to you bluntly. Halfway down through my to play pile is the entire Yakuza series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it. I believe
So
it.
I have so much.
Yeah, dude, I get it.
And then that's not accounting for let's see. I have MMOs like Final Fantasy 14 that I got to work my way through. I have multiplayer games like Outlast Trials and Borderlands 2. Let's just say if we experience a video game crash, it will not bother me at all because I have a stockpile.
Yeah.
I have a stockpile.
Same with me too. People are like, "Oh my god, if insert whatever industry goes other." I'm like, dude, the industry people will be fine because they will just have such a big backlog. Like that's the thing you have to realize. You have to, earn the right to keep grading, if that makes sense.
Oh boy, if Ubisoft crashes, they won't give us any more Assassin's Creed games. Oh boy, I guess I'll just have to go back and play the Ezio trilogy again. Rip.
Because I haven't played the Ezio trilogy. I played parts of them, but that's like considered the height of the franchise, right?
From a story perspective, easily. From a gameplay perspective, I think Black Flag is where a lot of people.
Yeah, I played Black Flag, but I would honestly just keep doing the ship stuff because I just thought the story was so fucking boring.
Yeah,
I was just like, because they do this. Oh, go and tail this guy slowly.
Yeah, that's a curse Ubisoft can't seem to break. They love their tailing and escort missions, and that a lot of people just drop their games because of that. But anyways, Sonic 3.
What are our thoughts? I'll
once again, Jim Carrey steals the show to the extent that he kind of outshined Keanu Reeves as Shadow.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane because that was what I was looking forward to the most. And then Jim Carrey once again stole all the spotlight. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, you can't keep. I'm like the Aaron Paul meme. Like I'm not like ungrateful for it.
But yeah,
he can't keep getting away with this.
I had the same thought process where I'm like, am I upset at all at anything Eggman did in the movie? No, because he was great in every scene he's in. He's great. But I'm like, this is Shadow's movie. And listen, I'm not saying you stole it in the sense that like Shadow wasn't great. Shadow was great. The problem is, because no one, this is me being honest, like no one's favorite thing in Sonic is ever, I feel like Eggman. Like people love Eggman, but he was never my favorite Sonic character. And then he steals the show, and it's like props to Jim Carrey.
It's so crazy. You never expected that.
I didn't. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, and
I'll put it into perspective for you. When they released the first trailer for the first movie back in like what 2018 was it?
Oh my god!
When they released it with that like goblin child eating monster freak show, right? That his first design. I was still gonna see the movie because Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik was so compelling in that trailer. I still was gonna see the movie. So when they redesigned it, I was like, I mean, I was gonna see it anyway, but okay.
Jim Carrey is the best. Everything I will say about this because my friend is like, normally sequels aren't as good, and I'm like, I guess not, but like this one. This franchise has gotten better with each installment. It's to the point where this is the peak. I don't know how they will be able to top this one, but I can
think of a couple ways, but it's going to take much better writing.
I mean, I think this one. So like, I feel like a lot of these scenes they just let Jim Carrey just do your thing. I refuse to believe a lot of that was scripted. I think some of it was.
like 80% of Jim Carrey's scenes that are just him, whether it's him with his grandfather, or him by himself, either way, that's him.
They were just like,
there's no way.
Yeah, because I was like, I can't imagine them writing all of this dialogue. They were
the same people who wrote Konichi Watt are not the people who wrote it's almost, the resemblance is uncanny. It's almost like we're two characters in a movie played by the same actor.
Yeah.
The person who wrote Konichi Watt did not write that. I refuse to believe
Konichi
that.
Watts? What's Konichi Watts?
Remember when the egg drones attack them in the Chow Cafe and Sonic goes, Konichi Watt?
Oh, that was not a great line.
I audibly groaned to the remission of the entire theater. I just went, oh, like that line physically hurt me.
I forgot. See, there was so much good in that movie that I'm sure there are enough moments like that if I go back. Like there are a few lines where I'm like, that one wasn't great, but like the good so far outweighs the bad that I'm like in this one. Like, because there was enough noticeable bad in the first two where it's like, I think it was great. The good still outshined it. But the good so far outshines.
Oh, dude, me and my brother Chris Pratt soy faced at each other. We did the
yeah.
when the Live and Learn riff started
me
playing,
too. When they started playing the guitar, I was like
in unison. We just went.
Yeah, because I saw with someone who knows nothing about Sonic, because I was like, I'm seeing Sonic 3. He's like, I haven't seen Sonic. I'm like, well, I'm seeing Sonic 3. Whether you're seeing, he goes, I want to see a movie. I'm like, I'm seeing Sonic 3, and he's like, I don't know what that. I'm like, well, I'm going to see it. No pressure if you don't want to come. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, all right. And then I would be like, hey,
and it goes even deeper because did you ever see Creed 3?
No, because I don't like what they did to Sylvester Stallone, but I'm sure I heard it was good.
That's fair. Creed 3, during the fight scenes, there's a lot of random anime references, like in their fight choreography, because Michael B. Jordan is a huge weeb.
Oh, is
so yeah, so there's like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and Cowboy Bebop references in the boxing matches, which is crazy. But the same kind of thing. Whoever choreographed the fight scenes in this movie is a huge weeb, because we're okay. We're full spoilers with this.
Oh yeah,
right?
we're going full spoilers. Yeah.
Okay, just double checking. The Supersonic versus Super Shadow is a mix of. It's a mix of. Did you ever watch? You've watched Dragon Ball Z, right?
I have not, actually, which I've gotten a lot of flack for, rightfully so. I know
in the Boo arc, when Vegeta and Goku fight in their Super Saiyan forms, because basically the TLDR is there's an evil wizard who is able to activate the evil in you, and when he does that, he makes you a little stronger, and Vegeta takes advantage of that to get a little stronger to fight Goku again. So that fight was they homaged a lot of that fight's choreography out of nowhere in the Sonic versus Shadow fight. And then I'm sure you saw this. There was a Superman homage. Sonic did the Injustice 2 Superman ult on Shadow.
Did he? I didn't even.
Yeah,
I was so
because he threw him, and then the camera was like droning right behind him as he was flying forward to punch him, and then flying forward to punch him again. And then one last thing I noticed, because they did Shadow uses his Chaos Spears in his super form to shoot all those robots down. But when he does it, it's like a Fate Stay Night way. Like he creates like a storm of blades that happens, and it's very... It like whoever was choreographing the fights was very clearly like a huge weeb, and I live for that.
That's cool. I'll need to watch that back, but that fight scene was great. It almost, I will say, it did bother me. Getting to your point about Jim Carrey overshadowing, is when it Live and Learn cues up and it plays for only a couple seconds, then it cuts back to Eggman spanking. I was like, come on,
dude. The
That bothered me because it's like, yeah, the scene was funny,
Oh.
but it was like I would have rather more live and learn than that spanking joke.
I think that's one of the. You're correct. That's one of these movies' weakness is their tonal whiplash.
Yeah, because there were
But
some
like,
moments, dude. I was tearing up when the Maria stuff. I was like, oh.
I like the family friendly, kid friendly workaround. Because
Yeah,
every other incarnation is like every other
They
retelling
shoot
of the
her.
story is like, no, this dude from the military shot a 6-year-old in the back.
yeah. I was like,
and then in this one they're like, oh no,
it was an
they
accidental.
tried to shoot her, but then the Olive Garden guy tried to save her, and he ended up moving the gun so it shot a fuel tank and blew up and killed only her somehow.
Yeah,
Let's not forget the 80-year-old, the man who at the time was 70 years old, was standing right next to her, but he survived the explosion somehow.
Well, did you like that better than what was in the game? Because it's Shadow the Hedgehog. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'd have to pull up the cutscene, but he straight up like executes her, right?
No, because what happens is in the game she's trying to dump him out into space in the capsule, but the soldier running in thinks that she's trying to release him to kill all the men. So in a spur of the moment, he whips his gat out and takes her out. Because like that's why Gunn invaded the base in the games. They did it because they were trying to take down all the proprietary technology and experiments.
Yeah.
So that's why all that happened. And it was kind of the same in Sonic the Movie 3, but yeah, I do think it's funny how they had to like sort of contextually kid glove a child getting murdered to justify Shadow's revenge art.
Yeah, hang on. So they straight up they straight up shoot her though, right? Like,
yeah. In the original, in the game version and the anime version, she gets shot in the back by a soldier. Unequivocally, like executed by like a Marine. Like it just happens.
Yeah, man, that was that.
And then-
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm kind of glad they changed that. I need to go back because I never played Sonic Adventure 2, but I do remember seeing the Sonic X adaptation of it. Project Shadow is what it was called. I know that God, take me back. Dude, I want to dive full in. You know what? I'm gonna give myself the night off. I say that it's already this, but I'm gonna keep diving more into the Sonic stuff because I'm feeling it, man. I went back and got the stuff with I went back and got the Sonic Origins collection, but I do want to get Sonic X Shadow. But I'm gonna beat the Sonic Origins collection. Finally beat. I played 1, 2, and CD on my phone, but I'm like, you know what? I'll have the rest because that collection is so good. I love how it was like 16, and then it includes those 4 games. I'm like, what else? And then I'm like, oh, this is why they didn't list the other 12. It's because like Sonic's Bean Machine, Tails
Sonic,
Adventure,
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
yeah, Tails Adventure, you know,
Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
yeah, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But anyway, yeah, that I liked. Dude, when those scenes are really heartfelt with Maria and Shadow though. When she starts playing the Live and Learn. First of all, she came up with that on her own.
I guess in this universe, Maria canonically wrote Live and Learn. And then Jun Sonoe, I guess, wandered into the burning ruins of a government facility and found an audio file of a little girl's acoustics and said, I will make a badass final boss rock song out of this.
Yeah, and it'll release in 50 years. It'll play
50 years.
when he gets Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the scientists. They're like, I'm choosing a new career path. This is messed up. We killed a kid. All right, well, I'll take her music. That's my headcanon now. That's my headcanon now.
It was what is it? Like a Prayer? Yeah, Like a Prayer. It was no Like a Prayer, but it was still satisfying.
Dude, that's the thing. It should have been that with Live and Learn. Like, it was like for a couple seconds, right? When they played the song. It was not even a full
They
minute.
play it. They have like 2 scenes where they whip it out for like 5 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, and again, did we really need Eggman spanking other Eggman? Like, so I am aware that like some of my overall things are going to, my criticisms will shine through as more time passes. Because I was in the
I don't
theater,
disagree. It just
I
doesn't
was
bother
soy
me as
facing the
much.
whole time, like, because like the spanking, I'm like, come on, man, you cut off Live and Learn. And to your point, they did Keanu Reeves as Shadow, which by the way, at first I was like, oh, we're getting another celebrity playing Shadow, and then he was perfect as Shadow.
Oh, I was never annoyed by that. When they announced a family-friendly comedian to play Sonic, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And then when they brought back Colleen O'Shaughnessy to voice Tails, I was like,
is that
oh,
who
hell
it was?
yeah, let's keep doing it. And then when they announced, when Idris Elba said, we got the announcement that Idris Elba was Knuckles by him posting a picture of Knuckles' fist on his Instagram. And that was it.
Yeah, I
And that
remember.
was a
I was like,
fire
"What?"
announcement.
I remember.
And
I was
then,
like, "What?" And then I remember it took a second for Knuckles' voice to grow on me. It took me a little bit, and by the end of Sonic 2, I'm like, "Yeah." Now by this movie, I'm like, "Yep, that's just Knuckles."
yeah, and then
But it took me a bit to grow on me. Shadow took
with
no
fan
time.
with fan casting, everyone was fan casting Keanu Reeves as Shadow because Shadow is just John Wick the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, who else but Keanu? And
Yeah.
missed opportunity not having Sonic quip at the fact that Shadow sounds suspiciously like Keanu, because in Sonic the Hedgehog 1 we get movie verse canon that he is a Keanu Reeves fan. Because remember when he's peeking in Donut Lord's house, he sees them booting up Speed.
Oh yeah.
In their DVD player, and he's like, "Yes, Keanu, you are a national treasure."
Let's see. I was disappointed in Sonic 3. I'm sorry to hear that. And then JR with this. Well, let's let's keep. Here's the thing. I think.
Tell you what. I was more impressed with Sonic the Hedgehog 3 from a writing standpoint than I was with Arcane Season 2. That's my violently hot take.
Did you like not like Arcane Season 2?
Oh, okay. So I'm writing a big video, so I will not dwell on it for too long because I don't want to get into it. It's a big deal to me. Because I've lived with that show's dick hanging out of my mouth like a cigar for 3 years straight. So I have to make a big video breaking down all of my problems with season 2. Because I'm a man of taste, which is why I loved the first season, but I'm also a man of principles, which is why I need to positively eviscerate the second season on my YouTube channel. So basically, the music is just as good, if not better. The voice performances are better across the board. The animation is also better across the board. However, all 3 of those things are a means to an end because all 3 of those things are merely vehicles for the writing, which is nowhere close to a 10th as strong as it was in the first season. The writing in season 2 is a nightmare. It is a nightmare. If you like season 1 in any meaningful capacity, you will be shocked and awed with how underwhelming to disappointing the second season is. It is shocking.
Gotcha.
So, anyways,
I've never seen the first season.
I definitely I recommend the first season of Arcane the same way I recommend the first season of Game of Thrones. Like, if you want one season of solid television, watch the first season of Game of Thrones, the first season of Arcane, the first season of Dexter. It's just that's just a thing now that we got to deal with, I guess, that a first season of a show can be kick-ass and then the rest of it just not, unfortunately.
Damn.
But anyways, so it's a good year for video game adaptations, though, to an extent.
Well, what else did we... Hang on, what did we get? I'm trying to remember. I haven't seen Fallout.
I was going to say, was Fallout this year?
I heard Fallout was great. I think Fallout was this year.
It was probably way earlier this year.
Fallout was this year. It
Okay.
was right. It was hold on, 2024. Yeah. Fallout was this
Okay,
year.
then yeah, Fallout was okay. I think the writers struggled to balance the tone because they wanted the serious, gritty nature of a post-apocalyptic wasteland, but they didn't quite understand why the games were so quirky and campy. So instead, they sort of played the series really non-seriously. So I'm like, when some people came out the other end when the season ended and said like that was ass, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to argue with you. It's up to taste at that point.
I haven't
I am
seen The Last of Us yet. That was last year, though, right?
The Last of Us season 1 is okay. It's okay. I don't think it's terrible. I also don't think it's like the Last of Us fans are like Steven Universe fans. They will just play that game on loop, and they will tell you it is peak fiction, and then you'll be like, you'll tell them the same thing you tell Harry Potter fans. Please play a different game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love the first Last of Us. I hate the second one. And I wanted to love it. Yeah, I was actually considering making a video while I was playing the game, how people complaining online can feed into opinions or whatever. And then I was like, you know what? This game isn't even like that bad. It has good things kind of going for it. But then I actually kept playing the game. I was like, oh, it actually doesn't. Oh,
The Last of Us 2,
No,
The
it
Last of
actually
Us
doesn't.
2, The Last of Us 2 is literally the same as Arcane Season 2 in that it looks good, the music's good, the performances are good.
But it
doesn't matter because all those three things I just mentioned are vehicles for the writing. And if the writing is ass, it kind of brings down every other aspect with it. So
I'm going to write this
my
down.
whole thing.
Christian said, did I listen to Dear Maria? I'm making that the first thing that's going to come up. Dear Maria.
What, like, I got your picture, I'm coming with you, dear Maria, count me in.
Is that what it is?
Is that what he's talking about? The rock song? Or is there like a track?
Is there a Sonic version?
I don't know. Is there? Hold on. I'm tripping. Give me a sec. I'll Google it now. Dear Maria.
Yeah, because my first introduction to Shadow was actually through other stuff. I didn't really know. I remember I used to think Sonic and Shadow were brothers. When I was little, because I was dumb, and then when I found out they weren't, I was like, "What? That's stupid. They're definitely brothers." And I was like, "Oh, they're actually not." And then I remember the more I learned about Shadow's backstory years later, I was like, "Oh, he's actually a really cool character." Because my introduction was like Heroes.
I love how Sonic and Shadow looking alike is literally just like a cosmic coincidence.
Yeah, it has canon.
There's no reason.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Even in this movie, I was like, oh, because that was one of the things I was like, so Sonic, because I always assumed, oh, Sonic, Shadow, Silver, they're all like sibling. No, there's no relation between any of them.
Silver is just a weird looking hedgehog. Sonic is just a weird looking hedgehog. I think in one continuity, I think it was the Archie comics. They say that okay, so you've played nothing with Shadow in it as far as the games are concerned, right?
No, I did. I played Sonic. Well, I never finished them, but I would play Sonic 06. God help me. Sonic Heroes.
Okay, did you ever play Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yes, I did actually. Yes.
Okay, so in the Archie comics, they established that Black Doom, the lead villain from Shadow the Hedgehog, he's in the Archie comics. They established that he brought a random Mobian hedgehog's DNA, along with Black Arm alien DNA, to Dr. Robotnik's grandfather and said, "Here, use these to make your ultimate life form." And so that's why in the comics, that's their explanation for why Shadow resembles a hedgehog. But in every other incarnation, they're just they look alike. There's nothing more to that. It's a coincidence. We're moving on.
Yeah, because when I was little, that would always bother me. But On the flip side, you know what I like that they didn't do? The faker thing. The fake. Oh,
I mean,
you're a
they kind of homaged it because he's like, "Why do you look like me?" And he's like, "Why do you look like me?"
Yeah.
That was
That
it.
scene works. See that the comedy in this movie did work. I do think there's moments where they undercut potentially serious moments for the point of a joke. That does bother me. Personally.
Yes.
Yeah. But hold on, I'm writing stuff to because I don't know if I'm gonna play through all these, but Sonic Adventure cutscenes, maybe I'll write cutscenes. Yeah, Sonic Adventure. I know there's those I need to watch. But man, I mean, I remember what else? Like I like that. I like the part where he picks up the gun. Now the shadow teleporting thing, because that was used a lot. Isn't that a more recent thing?
No,
right?
That's been a thing since the beginning, but I like the movies. The movie does a variation of it. I don't know if you noticed this. I picked up on this about midway through the movie. I realized they established that Shadow is infused with chaos energy.
Yeah.
Which
that
means
they did that
which
very well.
means in the movie universe, he doesn't need a chaos emerald to teleport. He can just do it. Because in every other incarnation, he needs to be holding a chaos emerald to teleport.
That's what it was. It was chaos control is one. Oh no, chaos control is when he slows down time, right?
It's either way. No. Either
way.
They kind of the games elaborate. They say the reason they try to embellish it. They say that the reason it looks like he's teleporting is because he's freezing time and moving.
But that's just
I think it's easier. I think it's easier to just say he can teleport. The end. And he's canonically not as fast as Sonic, so it's okay for him to have teleportation.
He's not. I thought he was faster than Sonic.
No, take away his jet boots. He literally can't.
Oh, that's what I meant. That's why but isn't he faster than Sonic with the jet boots?
No, he's stronger. He is stronger.
Oh, I love how they did his run too. His run was accurate to the game. So he starts doing his little. I was like, yeah. I always loved Shadow. The way he and Shadow distinguish
his air shoes, air skates is. Yeah, I like his skate motion too.
How many Hedgehog characters? Mephiles is a hedgehog. Do we know why
he's not a hedgehog? He's not a hedgehog. He emulates it because he mimics Shadow to trick Silver, and then after that he gets distorted by dark magic or something, so he looks like a weird devil hedgehog now.
But he's not. But he does. Yeah.
His full name is Mephiles the Dark. He is not any natural occurring species. He's he's literally sentient god armpit sweat. He is a ridiculous character as far as the lore goes.
See,
don't think about it.
The thing, I gotta say this because people are always like, you can't have a serious stuff in Sonic. I'm like, yeah, you can.
You totally can. You totally can.
I mean, yeah, they have. I'm sorry, the Maria stuff in this movie was heartfelt, and Shadow's motivations worked. And he has that moment where he's like, "Is this what she would have wanted?" And again, this is the thing about the voice acting. And by the way, Tails, I was like, "This is the same voice actress, right?" And yeah, she is.
Yeah,
that you mentioned that because I was like, "This doesn't sound like a Hollywood actress that I know of." But even still, all the voice acting is on point. Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog really embodied the role. Ben Schwartz really embodies Sonic. I mean, they're all so good, but there's the scenes where Shadow is talking about where he's like, was this what Maria would have wanted? And then Eggman's arc. Oh, here's the thing. It's the reason, I think the main reason why I'm okay with Eggman stealing the show. Not to cut myself off, but I do think the serious work. I actually wish there were more serious moments. But
I feel sorry for Agent Stone. His man crush isn't here anymore.
I know. But on the flip side, one of the things that I liked, the reason why I'm okay with Eggman kind of stealing the show in this movie,
Yeah.
It's
I'm sad I never got to have another one of your lattes with steamed Austrian goat milk. I love the way you make them.
It's so Here's the thing, because I'm always like, I get back to the point that Eggman I feel like is no one's favorite Sonic character, but it's not the same without him. And I'm like, man, they're really gonna have to lean heavy into the Sonic characters.
I think he did something off screen. I think he because we're in spoilers, so we may as well
let's
jump
go.
ahead.
You think he's alive?
No, I don't think he's alive. I think he built a Mecha Sonic off screen.
You mean Metal Sonic or Mecha?
No, Mecha, because Mecha Sonic
Which
when
one is
that is the you've played Sonic Heroes, right?
Yeah.
It's the one that turns into Metal Overlord.
Okay, I never finished Sonic Heroes because the game was too hard.
Okay, so Mecha Sonic is basically a way smarter, way stronger Metal Sonic that's more detailed. And the reason I say Mecha Sonic is because every time Mecha Sonic is in the story arc, he creates a ton of Metal Sonics to act as drones. So when multiple ones showed up, I was like, oh my god, is Mecha Sonic out there somewhere? So I think that when Sonic gave Eggman one of his quills, he built Mecha Sonic off screen.
Oh, and then you know what
So I think that is gonna. I don't know. They might write Amy into the story somehow. I think maybe Eggman created Mecha Sonic, and Mecha Sonic destroys the world, and then they're giving Amy Silver's time travel plot.
I don't think so.
Maybe I don't know. I don't because she was dressed like some weird rugged.
Well, no, because
leader.
You know what? All right,
I was like, I don't know.
We're talking now Sonic 4 theories. We'll kind of keep jumping around, and then we'll go back to paying our respects to Dr. Robotnik.
And respects to the Doctor.
But because I do agree that he built Metal Sonic, and if you want to say Mecha Sonic as well, that's fine. I think Metal Sonic, I was like, oh, he went out like a little bitch here. But I was like, Metal Sonic and Amy, do you know the connection between those two?
It's why I think they're drones.
But the connection between Metal Sonic and Amy Rose?
Were they both introduced in the same game?
They were both introduced in the same game. More specifically, Metal Sonic kidnaps Amy, and that's
Sonic CD, right?
Sonic CD, yeah.
Yes.
Which is why my theory. It's funny you mentioned time travel because that game has time travel as a core mechanic. Which is now that you mentioned that, one of my theories. I think time travel is going to be part. Oh, wait a minute! What if Silver and Blaze are introduced then? If time travel is an element.
See, I think we'll have a Sonic CD homage type story for 4, and then it'll segue into like Silver and Blaze might be the post-credits characters.
You think so? Because initially, until you said that time travel thing, I didn't think that. But I already made a bunch of theory videos, and my theories are already now possibly coming up with new ones. But
Jeff Fowler, the director, has already said that he has a 6-movie story in mind.
Ooh.
With like room for extras in between, which is why we're going to get a Shadow series / movie, depending on how this movie performs. So we'll have to see. So
hold on. We already did, because we did Sonic. The first game wasn't really an adaptation of Sonic 1, which is why it's the weakest. It's kind of...
Well, I mean, it kind of was. It was... Because what's the story of Sonic 1? Sonic 1 is
pretty bare bones.
Run, jump, beat up Eggman. What did Sonic do in Sonic 1? He ran, jumped, and beat up Eggman.
Yeah. Sonic 2... I actually feel like there's more story in the first Sonic movie. But so anyway, then Sonic 2 is a mix of Sonic 2 and 3. This one...
Yeah, because it's elements of 2 and Knuckles.
What's going on? So this one is elements of Adventure 2. But here's the thing. We've now skipped over a bunch of stuff in the middle, but we also have to follow up Adventure 2. So we know Shadow is coming back, which means I think it's fair to say this is what I think, that there's going to be amalgams going forward. Because, okay, let's look at it timeline-wise. We have all the stuff from the older timeline, pre-Shadow, pre-Sonic Adventure 2 to play with that we haven't touched yet. And we also have all the stuff post-Sonic Adventure 2. So we have Sonic Adventure, Sonic CD, Sonic Heroes, which isn't that the next appearance of Shadow? Sonic Heroes? Which is
canonically, yes.
Which is why, in my initial theory, but now that you mentioned Silver and Blaze, I'm second guessing it. My initial theory was that Sonic 4 is going to be a combination of Sonic Heroes and Sonic CD, because both those games prominently feature Amy Rose and Metal Sonic.
Mecha Sonic, but yes.
Well, Metal Sonic is also in it.
Yeah.
Sonic is
And he's
never
being
the
controlled by
main
Mecha.
villain,
He's being
right?
controlled by Mecha. Metal Sonic isn't the only time Metal Sonic is actually like a character has been in the comics. Every other time he's operating either as a drone or just like a sort of dialogueless antagonist.
Dude, I'm pissed because Sonic Heroes was my first game and I never finished it because I was bad at the game.
Oh, dude, when I was younger, I used to be so bad at video games.
I was terrible. I could never finish
them.
I could never finish them. I would always, and other people around me would tell me, Vaughn, this is what happens. Like, oh, cool. So I know Metal Sonic was like a twist reveal villain, but Eggman was still in Heroes, right?
Yeah.
So
but that's why I'm saying it's possible he built him off screen, and so they might do the story of Mecha Sonic liquid metaling himself to look like Robotnik, which is how they can bring back Jim Carrey as an actor.
If they wanted to, yeah.
They could do that.
I think they're going to avoid him for one movie and maybe have, if anything, a pre-recorded message. Like you've seen Scream 3, right?
Yeah.
You know, in Scream 3, Randy appears in a pre-recorded message that's the retcon. This is what he said before he thought he was going to die. I think they're going to do something like that in Sonic 4. I think they can't resist it. I think they're going to have one scene with Jim Carrey.
So since Amy didn't say a word, who do you think is going to voice her? Do you think it'll be a celebrity or an old voice actress?
I'm afraid they don't. I hope they don't go full girl boss with Amy. I hope they don't. And I hope she's still feminine, but I hope she's not the annoying. I think to their credit, they're not going to do the annoyingly in love with Sonic. I think she's going to be but I hope that she's still in love with Sonic. Because
honestly, no, I'm okay with that not being a part of her character. I am perfectly fine without that. I grew up with Sonic X, which means I grew to hate Amy being a
she's the most
horny
annoying
bitch.
Yeah,
I really hated that.
There was a balance. Yeah, no, all right, so Sonic, let's talk Sonic X. Why was Cream the Rabbit more important to that show than fucking Knuckles? Can you explain that to me? Why was Rouge the Bat more of a recurring character than Knuckles?
Because Knuckles was edgy and he needed to sit in front of the Master.
That always bothered
doing
me.
The Wakanda Forever pose.
That always bothered me. Like, why was Knuckles a side character?
By the way, how they did you get the popcorn bucket? What's the word?
Did you get this, by the way?
No, I did not.
All right,
what's the character from Star Trek who Worf? They Worf affected Knuckles in Sonic X. If you wanted an antagonist to be threatening, the first thing they did was pull up at Angel Island and beat up Knuckles.
Yeah. That's so one of the things by the way, these are my 4 favorite characters, but they were like, you have to choose between Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles for the thing. And in an instant, because I was late, I defaulted to Knuckles, so I'm not sure if that makes him my favorite character because I love all 3 of them.
I think so far we're winning as far as which characters pulled up in the Sonic movies.
Yeah, we got the 4 best ones, but they did skip Amy to get to Shadow, which I was okay with. But now we have to have Amy. So going forward, because I was like, there's so many characters they could bring in. Okay, so I think for 4, they're going to do something. I think, Metal Sonic is going to be the thing, which I think if we're going to have a more mechanical villain, that means we need to have more emphasis on the heroes, which I think they're going to do.
I think it'll be a Heroes-esque plot, but rather than 3 different plots with 3 different teams leading up to a...
But I don't think the Chaotix are going to show up in Sonic 4.
Yeah, 4. Rather than 4 different plots with 4 different teams leading up to a cataclysmic final boss, I think it's just going to be a journey with the 5 characters, and that'll be it.
You think Knuckles is going to be... I don't think he's going to be part of the main group. I mean, Shadow. Yeah.
You're right. They might sideline him for a while.
I think they're going to keep giving him the specialty treatment. I think Amy, because I would argue the core main Sonic characters are Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, right? Shadow is like possibly my favorite.
Depends who you ask. If you ask Ian Flynn, everyone's a main character to some extent. It just depends on the art. So,
but I would argue those are the like mainstays. Those 4.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Ones. You know, Shadow is like the special. He's like dessert. Well, and well, those four and Eggman, right? Those I would say, but now,
Yeah.
but now we have. So I think those four are going to be the main characters. Now my question is, who do we think is? I think the Chows are going to be used more. I think we played a little Easter egg, but I
don't know.
We didn't
I
see
don't
any
know.
actual Chows.
I don't think canonically in the movieverse they exist. I think they established that they're like just some Japanese mascot, so that way they don't actually have to. I think that's their way of casually, politely saying, "Do not expect chaos. We are not going to bring chaos. We are skipping chaos."
You think they're skipping him?
I don't think they have, because remember, Jeff Fowler said he signed on for a 6-movie plot, a 6-movie story narrative. He is not, I think he realizes he doesn't have the time, which is why we skipped from Sonic Adventure 1 to Sonic Adventure 2.
All right, so then where are we covering after that? Do you think we're going to catch up to the current games, or do you think we're going to keep playing in the past?
I think that he is going to, I don't know where he's going to go, but I think we're getting to a point where, yes, we will homage the games, but I do think that these movies will end in their own way. I think they'll have their own final boss.
I think
because I don't think it's going to. I do think there's a not 0% possibility we see, Silver and Blaze. I do not think we're gonna get the 06 story though, because you said you haven't seen the Knuckles show, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler for the Knuckles show. One of the episodes of the Knuckles show, they pull an Alan Wake 2, where they have a music video dream sequence of exposition.
Yeah.
And what the music video dream sequence tells you is Knuckles' canon movie universe backstory. And in that universe backstory, they show you a puppet show where they tell you that Knuckles' father was killed by a flame demon.
Mm-hmm.
So Knuckles goes to kill that flame demon out of revenge. And it's revealed that flame demon was the main villain, Iblis. Yes, the main villain of Sonic 06.
So they are totally
they off-screened the main villain of the most maligned game before the narrative of the movies even started. Which, if you watched Sonic 3, so when Knuckles is jumping and punching the force field, his fists are on fire. That's the flames of disaster from the Knuckles show.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right,
Knuckles off-screened a main antagonist in the Sonic franchise.
They could give Silver a new backstory. See, that's the thing. Sonic 06 had a cool plot line, but the gameplay was so bad I couldn't get to it. I mean, Sonic kissing a real human woman. Wait, by the way,
no. Sonic was dead. Okay, the human woman kissed him. Elise is the problem there, not Sonic. Yeah. My boy was comatose. Yeah. I don't think it's fair to hold that against him. He was assaulted.
That's so interesting. That's all right. So now I have to watch Knuckles, because that's the thing. It seems like there's some. Okay, so
it has some merit. Merit.
So we know Amy, Shadow, and Metal Sonic are there now. I'm saying because Sonic Heroes is where Shadow returns, and also Metal Sonic is the main villain. Now, who do I think is going to be there? You think that there isn't going to be? I feel this like a question. What is missing is why the hell Sonic 3 isn't a Paramount, but because unlike every other streaming service, they aren't stupid. So where the hell is it? What do you mean? I don't have Paramount. I don't know.
Sonic 3 isn't on Paramount Plus because it just got in theaters. That's why it's not.
That's why
on there. They want to give it a chance. I think this movie, more than the other two, has a way higher chance of making $1 billion. I think this one might hit it.
I hope so.
Dude, I love how it took less than a day for us to find out that this movie is absolutely dick stomping Mufasa in the box office.
Is it?
I'm so happy.
Yeah, Mufasa is not going to do well, I don't think.
I don't know why Disney thought releasing it the same day as this movie was a good idea.
People in theater cheered when Shadow and Super. Dude, that's awesome, man. It was so good. It was like when the Super Sonic and Shadow again. I wish there was more Shadow. I do think there's going to be more Shadow in the second movie, which is why I think it's going to be a bit of an adaptation of Sonic CD and Heroes. But I think Shadow is going to have a more prominent role.
I think it's going to be a blend of CD and Heroes because they want to use the Metal Mecha Sonic story. And then they want to introduce time travel probably so they can segue into Silver.
So you think they're going to, because it's interesting you say that, because I feel like, all right, so let's talk their priority characters, because we both, I think, are in agreement that they're going with the priority characters first, right?
I am very surprised we did Shadow before Amy.
Me too.
Yeah, other than that, I agree that we're doing.
Yeah, me too. Shadow before Amy was a surprise because, like you said, or like I was saying earlier, I feel like the main characters, so it made sense. Sonic, then Tails, then Knuckles were the obvious first three. Then I thought the next obvious choice was going to be Amy, but then they did Shadow.
And then the post-credit scene was Project fucking Shadow.
Yeah, and I was like,
out of nowhere.
And I was like, okay, well then we got Amy is coming in. But so those are the obvious picks. Okay. Rouge. So who do I think are the next obvious ones? I think Rouge, considering we have Shadow, is the most obvious pick.
The next post credit scene is gonna be Big the Cat.
yeah. So here's the thing. I do think, and this is me being unironic, I do think there's a possibility of Big the Cat getting in, but I think he's gonna get the same treatment that Sanic got in the first movie, where it's gonna be like a joke. And we're gonna move on from Big the Cat. I think
my brother walked out of the theater and screamed at the top of his lungs, 0 out of 10, no Big the Cat.
Did he?
He did.
So here's the thing. I think personally, my theory is Big the Cat is going to show up and get like a joke cameo in Sonic 4 because they can't help themselves, which I love.
I think Big the Cat is gonna be like the Chows, where there's not enough room in the
even if I did have 6 movies of plotline, I don't know if I would get to Big the Cat, because who the fuck wants
Big the Cat is best when he's used either as a background shot or a cameo.
In Sonic Heroes. All right, so what do we think? All right, so because you think the Chows aren't going to actually be Chows, which that was a disappointing thing. There were no Chows. I think there are Chows.
Because they skipped from Sonic Adventure 1 to 2. They skipped Chaos. So the Chows being a Japanese mascot in like this universe's version of Japan for like a maid cafe, essentially, I think works better. The Chows are primordial in the Sonic the Hedgehog lore. Chows are literally in the Sonic the Hedgehog lore. Chows are literally like god fetuses.
Wait, so they become Chaos?
No, they don't become Chaos. They just become the because you know what they look like, right? The little blue babies with the cute voices.
Yeah,
little blue babies with the cute voices. Over time, as they mature, they get more distinct. They get unique. Like they're like snowflakes where they each look unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why when Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles were running away, all 3 of their heads looked different because they stole the mascot heads. In the Chow lore,
Guardian.
if they live long enough, they grow and like get deeper voices and can speak and can like control aspects of nature and stuff. And but basically that takes an insanely long period of time. Like Cream the rabbit will die of old age before she ever sees Cheese the Chow be an adult. Like this. And because of that, Chaos, the immortal water god of destruction, was created by ancient echidna civilizations,
right,
to protect the baby Chows while they mature.
See, and people are always like, "Oh, the Sonic game should have stayed stupid, simple stories." I like this stuff.
So that
was in the early 2000s.
Because the Chows have been reduced to like a maid cafe thing, which I'm fine with. That I feel like that's a symbolic, polite way of Jeff Fowler saying, look, I don't have time for chaos. We are
You
skipping
think so?
chaos.
Because I
think-
thought
Because the Chows are the whole reason chaos is chaos.
See, because I
Because
thought
what
that was him
happens is-
setting. I viewed it
what-
as him setting it up. Chaos.
No,
the
because here's the
Chows.
thing. What happens in the original lore is Tikal, a Echidna girl, becomes friends with Chaos. The Echidna tribe she is from discovers Chaos and the Chaos Emeralds. They want the power, so they burn down his shrine to try and steal the Chaos Emeralds. And when they do it while there's a bunch of chows inside. So they kill a bunch of babies, which makes him incredibly angry. So he slaughters them all and then goes into like an anger coma. And then when Eggman tries to go and steal the Chaos Emeralds thousands of years later, he discovers an angry puddle of water and tries to recruit it. But then it starts eating the Chaos Emeralds as he steals them, and then it becomes the final boss of Sonic Adventure 1. And that's the story of Chaos as a villain.
Okay,
And
so
I feel like they have because we've left the another thing is if you watch the Knuckles show, it pretty much goes into detail about the Echidna lore in this universe, and there's not a single mention of Tikal. So I feel like Tikal not being mentioned and the Chows being reduced to a cameo maid cafe thing, I feel like that's pretty definitive proof we're moving past chaos. And also, Sonic the Hedgehog 3's story is Sonic Adventure 2. So, you know,
all right, so we're skipping.
I wouldn't be against it. I would not be
skipping-
against it. I would not be against it, but I'm pretty sure Jeff
that we're
Fowler's
moving past
skipping.
it. Okay,
I'm pretty sure we're.
So
moving
we're
past
getting
it.
so. Are we confident? We think Sonic CD is playing a role.
CD, Heroes, or a mix of the two.
Yeah, I think a mix of the two is. I think we're getting original story, a mix of the two. But there's also elements of Sonic Adventure 2 we haven't gotten to because we only got some of it. Which is why
we're missing Rouge.
I think we're getting elements
Gang.
of. I think we're getting Sonic CD, elements of Adventure 2, and Sonic Heroes is what I think. But Sonic Heroes has an ensemble cast. So the question is now, because the story is going to be, I think that we're going to primarily focus on Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, with some Shadow and Metal Sonic, and possibly Mecha Sonic, right? Those are the locks, I think. I think those are the fairest.
I feel like we might get Rouge, but she might get more naturally introduced. Because we forget that the Sonic Adventure 2 plot just kind of messily dumps Rouge in there. Like she just sort of walks up like she's always been there.
Oh, is that right?
So I feel like we might. What was that last chat?
He was saying he thinks Sonic Detective Pikachu is going to be in the movie, but I don't think that's the case.
No, the Detective Pikachu movie takes place in a live-action version of the Pokemon world. Pokemon are a part of everyday life.
Yeah, it's that.
I think it's showing that movie exists within the universe.
This is probably a weird connection, but the Sonic movies have convinced me that a Dragon Ball movie could work. By the way, I figured you'd appreciate that.
The reason Dragon Ball Evolution failed was because the director didn't know a single thing about Dragon Ball before he made it. So I get someone who gives a shit about source material, and that movie can work.
Yeah, Jeff Fowler seems to care about
any movie or series made by someone who gives a shit about source material can work as an adaptation.
Exactly. Now, so we are now, because we're now theorizing. We're barely even talking about Sonic 3 at this point, but that's fine because we're going in. We'll pay our respects to Mr. Robotnik and talk more about. There's so much to talk about with this movie, which I do really like. But
I know, but because of how good the movie is, the future has never looked brighter. Like,
exactly.
Sonic fans keep winning.
Yeah, exactly. It's now all right. So here are my locks for I think. Now I think Rouge is going to show up. I think Cream might show up.
I'm fine with no cream.
You don't like cream?
I'm fine with my whiskey neat and no cream. Thank you.
All right, so cream, because you don't think there's any chows, which means the cream might go.
Well, a chowless cream is kind of like Mario.
She's also
without
kind
Luigi,
of a very vanilla character, to be honest.
Also, I feel like the series is already like kid friendly enough. The whole reason she's there is to give like young children someone to root for and like.
Like she seems like so. It seems to me, Cream. I mean, maybe just because it was Sonic Heroes, Cream seemed like Amy's Tails.
Yeah, not really. More like
don't think
Amy,
so?
because she's more like Amy's what's the word I'm looking for? She's kind of like Amy's little like sidekick. Like Tails is Sonic's best friend. Amy is more like a mentor to Cream.
And Cream doesn't really I'm not saying, I'm just saying I could see it happening, but I don't think Cream is like, again, if she was there, she'd have a bit part. But the reason, part of what I was thinking was because I was like, well, because Rouge has the love triangle between her, Knuckles, and Shadow. She likes the Chads, right?
Not really. Not
Kind
really.
in the Sonic X she did.
Canonically, she's not really into Shadow.
What?
Like she's
wow.
she no, she's like a she likes big dumb dudes, which is why she's into Knuckles. She loves herself a himbo.
Yeah, see, Knuckles being dumb actually kind of works, because I was always like, why does Knuckles get tricked so easily? And this movie made it make sense. He's got a big heart, but he's dumb.
I like Knuckles when he is knowledgeable of ancient lore, but idiotic to anything else.
Yeah.
I like that. Like that I have versed myself in my culture and nothing else.
Yeah, that's what
I love that.
I loved Idris Elba's, like, because at first it took a while to grow up on me because his Knuckles sounds so proper almost, or so
it gets better in Knuckles. Like he gets
yeah, that's what I mean. Like in Sonic 2, it took a while. By the end of it, it grew on me. So by this movie, I'm like, I'm in. But it took a bit to grow on me, and now I love him. Now that's how I picture Knuckles. But anyway, getting back to your point, so you don't think Cream is, because my whole thing is I thought there'd be like all the Sonic boys would get girls possibly, and it tears the group apart.
But Tails has only ever had 2 instances of lovers, and it has never been Cream.
Really? What am I just...
Cream is particularly like they're all technically kids, but Cream in particular is always like
special,
young child coded. Like that would be the equivalent of one of us dating an 8-year-old.
Okay, I didn't. All right, so like, I didn't see it that way.
She is treated as like,
oh, she's 6. Never mind.
Yeah,
fuck that.
No,
all right. I'm deleting the short video. I was like, oh, they be a cute couple. Never mind.
Cream is well, technically, all of the Sonic characters are young because they're animals, so they get mature really fast on like a biological level.
Man, that's so sad.
But Cream is significantly younger. Yeah.
Man, I didn't realize she was that much younger. I thought her and Tails were like...
No. There's two lovers that Tails has had, and
the one is the alien chick that gets fucking obliterated.
Yeah, Cosmo, the one he shoots to death at the end of Sonic X. Yeah. There's that, and then there was this fox who cheated on him with Sonic in the Archie comics.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Ken Penders was on some like cuck fetish shit when he was writing that.
Cream isn't young; she has brain.
No, you're thinking of Charmy, Ronald. Charmy is the one who... Cream is a rabbit, you sick fuck.
They're all animals. Oh, wait. What about Vanilla the rabbit?
I somehow don't think Tails is into MILFs.
No, I'm saying that character's not going to show up. All right, so you don't think Cream is going to show up?
I don't know. No, I think if we're cutting characters, Cream is. I think it's more likely we'll see the Chaotix before we see Cream. I think we will see Chaotix
again. Maybe it's just because the Sonic Heroes. Because I was like, if we're going Sonic Heroes, because I was like, well, all we'd need to complete Team Rose, but Team Rose was always like oh shit, we have 3 people on the Sonic team. Like looking back, now that I know more about Sonic than I did when I was a kid, I was like, oh well, Amy will just have her own team. I saw them almost all as equals because you play as all of them. And looking at it now, I'm like, well, no, they just kind of didn't. Amy didn't have a team, and she was the 4th one out, so they just kind of threw her like Big the Cat and Cream, who no one really cares about.
I think if we do get Sonic Heroes plot elements in 4, it's not going to be
The full blown.
It's not going to be 12 characters. It'll be like us elements of the story on paper, and then it'll be Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Amy, Shadow, and maybe one more.
All right, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. I'm in agreement with that. So we think I think the Chaotix aren't going to be there.
I think the only complete team we'll get in
Team Sonic.
In movie 4 is Team Sonic.
What about all right? So what are your thoughts on either Omega or Gamma showing up?
I totally think that it is possible because Eggman has been active on that Earth for his whole life. Him and his granddad. I think it is totally possible that some of their proprietary technology just turns on and walks out into the world one day.
Yeah, I think
either one of them could pull up, and it wouldn't surprise me or offend me at all.
Because I think now that they've gotten rid of Eggman, which I think Jim Carrey might, if he wants money, come back. But I think for now they've basically decided on moving on without him. They decide to put him back. They'll put him back. But I think because of that,
I love how bro is so done with Hollywood. He is utterly retired, and then he's like, you know what? I'll pull out the old acting license for Sonic 3. Why not?
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Why not? My kids love Sonic. I'll be Dr. Eggman. Why not?
Yeah, and now he's out, but I think that all of his inventions are gonna. Which is, I think, what Sonic 3 is. I mean, Sonic. CD, he was the main villain, but I think we're gonna see his machines kind of doing their own thing. And I think the next one is gonna focus more on the heroes with like machine villains. That's what I think. So, I think Rouge is gonna be in it.
Like I said, if the writing's decent, I'm okay with it.
Dude, I didn't know that. Like, I forgot. I didn't realize. I thought Cream was Tails. I didn't realize that. Because Tails is what, like 12?
Something like that. Yeah,
9?
They're all like young teens by canonically, something like that.
Tails, yeah,
but because they're animals, a year or 2 apart is the equivalent of like 6 or 7 years for us. Zooey was that cheating slut that got away with by calling Tails Miles his real name. Even Sonic wouldn't call him Miles Prower. He probably did smash Carrie the Koi Poo, though.
Yo, what a bitch!
Yeah, the Archie comics are kind of weird because Ken Penders has a not so secret cuck fetish and furry fetish. So he has Sonic. He wrote Sonic as this womanizing freak show who dated every female member of the cast.
What the hell, man?
Basically, because of that, there is a rule in the modern Sonic comics being written by Ian Flynn where Sega said, under no uncertain terms are you allowed to put Sonic in a committed relationship.
What?
Yeah, there's actual rules that Ian Flynn, the writer of the Sonic the Hedgehog IDW comics, which I do have, they're off camera.
Are they good?
They're good, but you can sometimes feel the comics code authority of Sega tapping on Ian Flynn's shoulder, being like, hey, you can't do that. Dial back. Like, for example, you can tell no one important can die. No one can get into a committed relationship. Sonic's not allowed to cry in the comics.
What?
You don't understand. Ken Penders ruined a lot of things for extended Sega media because what Sega did back in like the late 90s, early 2000s is they basically sold Sonic as an IP. They like rented it out to Archie Comics and said, whatever, just get us more attention for our brand, right?
And then Ken Penders fucked it up, right?
Ken Penders made it into like his personal soapbox of like drama and like self-insert fan fiction. And like one of his not insignificant controversies was that he like made the echidnas into Jews and he like made them go through like a canonical Holocaust. And like he literally was plagiarizing Holocaust survivor quotes and using them from the POV of echidna characters. And I'm like, buddy, dear God.
Wow. All right.
And
So
that rabbit hole only goes deeper. So let's bury that and move on.
All right. So I Cream the Rabbit, I don't think is gonna be all right, so Cream the Rabbit, maybe, but it's so you think we're skipping Chaos and we're getting as our main villain Metal and or Mecha Sonic, correct?
I think Metal Overlord / Mecha Sonic would make a great, at least temporary antagonist to bring in. Because here's what I think. I think movie 4 will be its own isolated plot, right?
Yeah.
And then I think whatever goes through that will be the post credits of that will bring in the last few characters that are going to be permanent parts of the cast.
Yeah. I think so.
And then I think movies 5 and 6, since we already know Jeff Fowler wants to be in it for 6 films, I think movies 5 and 6 will be like a 2-part ordeal.
You think so?
I think it'll be. I think Jeff Fowler wants to do Sonic the Hedgehog Infinity War type deal.
You think so? I don't know. Because I think. All right. So if we're talking in terms of
real quick.
Yeah.
I think in Sonic 4, Mecha Sonic Metal Overlord, that character, that emotionless copycat character, is ideal for that stepping stone segue.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
agree.
I think it works perfectly.
I'm in agreement with you. I think that I think, like I said, I think we're going with a machine villain because we've had this charismatic Eggman villain for the last 3 movies. I think we made him more charismatic than ever, which means Shadow. I don't want to say he took a bad seat because he still is, but you know what I mean? Like the 2 Eggmans definitely ate up more screen time than Shadow. I think we're making up for that. I think we're going to get more Shadow in this one, which is why I don't think I think because there's no question about Shadow.
Remember, they've already confirmed Sonic Forest 2027. So we're getting something Shadow between now and then. So you're going to get more Shadow anyways. They will balance the state. They will balance the tables. The scales,
and I think, and going off of that, if Shadow is getting his own thing, Rouge might even appear in that.
Yeah, they could do that.
Actually, that might make more sense.
They are really receptive to criticisms, and one of the criticisms of Knuckles was there was not enough extra Sonic lore and media happening or being referenced in it.
Yeah, speaking of receptive criticisms in this movie, you know what I loved? There was no whole wedding segment with human characters where all the Sonic characters were knocked out. Worst part, the whole movie.
They dialed back the human stuff so good.
It was so good. And then to the point where the human characters like, our lives are. I think that was actually a joke to it. Now I'm thinking about it, where they're like,
our lives are so good when they're not around.
No, I thought it was saying that their lives are boring when they're not allowed, and their whole lives exist to serve the Sonic characters, not their lives. The human characters were great in this.
I think James Marsden loves this. He's like,
I think he's having the time of his life.
I get to just show up and do like an easy act, an easy job, read like 20 lines, and then go home with $1 million. Not $1 million, but like an absurd amount of money for work
what little work he's
on
doing.
on this movie. He's like, I used to be Cyclops. Oh well.
Dude, and then they screwed him over with Cyclops. Oh, let's kill him off screen. You see this? Represent Cyclops. But
what did you expect? Yellow spandex.
And then in X-Men 97, what did you expect? Black leather was one of the lines.
I loved that. They shot that. I don't hate the costumes in the original X-Men movies because it's homaging Ultimate Universe X-Men.
Or was Ultimate Universe homaging them? Because Ultimate came out after.
It did? Okay. I get the Marvel Comics wires crossed all the time, so that's on me. I like how one homaged the other. I liked that because I don't hate those costumes.
But I think Rouge is going to be in the next one for sure.
I think Rouge might show up in either the Shadow Project, however that pans out, or the next Sonic movie.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
So we're saying no to Cream. I think Big the Cat could get a cameo. Oh, here's the thing. If they do the time travel, they could do something with that, which hints at other stuff. I think, what if they even do something minute in one of the time travel segments that leads to oh my god, like a post-credit scene where Silver or one of them comes back and like, what have you done? Do you know what this could lead to?
No, literally, it could be that. Yeah, it could be like a Spider-Verse type deal where you're like, the post-credit scene is, the hell did you do? The end.
Yeah, wait, so hold on. Because now that I'm thinking about it, because initially I was like, Silver and Blaze are kind of lower on the totem pole. But I'm thinking about it, if I was plotting out those movies and I'm a Sonic fan, I think I would put those guys more priority than like some of the more minor characters. Like, because let's think about it. Like, Cream is probably more well known to some people because she appears in more whatever. But Cream is not more popular than Silver or Blaze. She doesn't have as much.
I think again, yeah, it's Silver, Blaze, the Chaotix, Omega, Gamma. I think all of those characters are more likely to show up than Cream.
I think Cream and Big, if anything, will have small cameos. I think Big will be a joke.
Big will be a joke.
I think Big the Cat will show up though. I don't think that's too much meme potential. Like Big the Cat is such a big meme. If Sonic made it,
I love
Big the Cat is gonna show up. He's gonna show up.
I think there's a not 0% chance we'll get like a joke appearance
of Big the Cat.
Because Big's appearance in every modern piece has been plot happens, plot flies by, camera turns slightly.
Big the Cat.
Camera turns slightly to this fat ass cat fishing in a pond, looking at the plot flying by, going, "The hell was that?"
Yeah.
Anyway, back to fishing. Like that. That's pretty much what Big has been this whole time.
The Quest for Froggy, a 6-hour epic.
I'd watch that. I'd watch that. No, make that the next Paramount show. A 6-episode anthology series that's just Big wandering through America trying to find his frog.
All right, so here's who are. Let's go through in terms of likeliness. What are our thoughts on the Chaotix showing up?
I think it's
possible.
Like, out of 10, there's a 7 out of 10 chance.
But not in 4.
But it would be all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like all 3 of them would show up simultaneously.
Who the hell is Trip the Sun Gazer?
No Boom characters are showing up.
Oh,
no
that
Sonic
Boom? Okay, yeah.
I
think Espio, Charmy, and Vector, they'll like just like Sonic Boom, they'll show up, and I think they'll be one. I think when they show up, they'll be some of the best characters. I think they'll be used sparingly, and you want more of them.
And then for example, I think they're iconic, but I don't think they'll show up. I think Jet the Hawk, Storm the Albatross, and Wave the Sparrow.
Swallow.
Wave the Swallow. I was close, damn it. Anyways,
yeah.
I think the Babylon Rogues are cool, but I think it's about a 7 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, you think they would do a Sonic Riders movie? Probably not, right?
I don't think it would be a Riders movie. I think the Babylon Rogues would show up and they'd have Riders gear.
Oh, you know what they could even do? They could even do like this has been happening between movies. We even participated in this tournament, and then maybe they come in the plot later.
Well, no, because here's another thing. The Babylon Rogues are literally supposed to be like the Sonic universe equivalent of Babylonians, and Babylon existed on our real life Earth where this movie universe is taking place.
Wait, where does the Sonic universe take place?
Sonic and crew come from a anamorph planet called Mobius.
But in Sonic Adventure, they're in. You know what's funny is my first.
In Sonic Adventure, they establish Mobius as humans. Don't think about it. Do not think about it.
I thought Sonic Adventure took place on Earth. No, it takes place on Earth.
No, it doesn't. Station Square is a human. Station Square is a human.
Then why hang on? This is bullshit.
A human city with a president.
Then why is President Bushton, right? Isn't that his actual name?
No, is it Bushton?
I think it is.
Oh, Lord.
What
is it with Japanese people and making the best jokes of American politics?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's genuinely his name.
Is it his name? Please tell me it's actually
his name. If that is, maybe it's not. I thought I heard that somewhere.
Right now, what is the Sonic Universe president's name?
Sonic president.
What is?
Hang on, I thought it was Bushton because George Bush was. No wait, it doesn't look like it. I thought I genuinely. He's just president.
Hold on, I got it right here. Sonic Universe president. The 13th president is a character in the Sonic series. He is a head of the United Fed. Yeah, see, it's not. He's not the president of the United
Wait, so
States.
it doesn't take place. Why
the
did I think
United
this whole
Federation.
time? I thought it took place on Earth, so it doesn't take place on Earth. Really?
Yeah.
None of them? I thought they took place on like parts of Earth, like the islands were part of Earth. Really?
Anyways, bring back up the. Yeah, I was gonna say bring back up the character screen. I
Right.
think.
Oh,
Chaotic.
wait, hold on a second. For the shadow stuff, are we
Mhm.
going to see Doom's Eye or any of them, or what the fuck is his name?
You mean Black Doom?
Yeah, are we going to see any of them?
I think if we do, it'll be in the Shadow Project
The Shadow
movie or
Project.
series, whichever it comes up to. I think Rouge and the black alien demon creatures are one. Like that's black with a capital B. Okay, it's part of the title. Japan wrote it. I'm not being racist. That's how they're. It's literally. There's a line
Disgusting
from Sonic.
black creatures.
These
Get out of
black
my
creatures. These black creatures are sure causing a scene. Shadow. Like there's a line like that in Shadow the Hedgehog. It's crazy.
All right, so
Anyways.
Gamma or Omega, do we think they're going to show up?
There's a chance. I wouldn't be surprised because they could say he built me and I've been shut down, but he hasn't checked in on me in like 10 years now because he's dead. So I came out to come and see or something, like I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
So Omega, I know, is the more, or Gamma's the more beloved because I grew up with Omega because I didn't play Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 growing up.
I have more exposure to Omega. I only know about Gamma because of Sonic X.
Sonic, yeah. I need to watch because I would watch episodes of Sonic X, but I never watched the whole series. Did you watch the whole series?
Sonic X?
Yeah.
I've seen the whole series like 4 times.
Dude, I would watch it on demand, but man, I'm getting outclassed here. I'm glad I had you on, but now I'm feeling inadequate.
Dude,
as a Sonic
the Hedgehog
what about
is
Chris
what led
Thorndike?
Sonic the Hedgehog is what led to all of this.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Just so
Sonic
we're
the
clear.
Hedgehog.
It's my
Sonic the Hedgehog is the
nerdy
shit.
gateway drug.
Yeah, I was always more of a fan of the story, the characters than the gameplay of the games I grew up with. To be honest,
And no, I swear to God, if Chris Thorndike shows
Yeah,
up in
Chris
these movies, I will
Thorndike.
stop watching. I will stop watching.
Dude, he's the best character. What do you mean? They had to remind us every fucking episode. But every time you were like, "Why is this kid there?" They felt the need to explain it. Chris Thorndike is the worst character.
Him and his Dollar General Sora haircut.
He's the worst. All right. What about what about Bark the Polar? All right, what about these kind of characters? Bean, Ray, Mighty,
I think if we ever get scenes where
Fang
they
the
go back
Sniper?
to I think if we get scenes where they ever go back to Sonic's old world, we might get like background characters that are Bark the Polar Bear, Bean the Dynamite, Fang the Sniper, Mighty Armadillo, Ray the Flying Squirrel. I think those people will be, background.
I think okay, so we think we're skipping Chaos.
Yes.
All right, and we think we're going to because I do think they're gonna touch on some of these, but they'll be in a montage, like in
Probably.
Sonic Mania. Like Sonic Mania had all of them, although Mighty and Ray were playable.
I think like Mighty, Ray, Bark, Bean, and Fang will be like background characters.
I think they'll appear for like, if anything, at most like a fight scene or two.
Yeah, they might be like the leaders of extra factions to help deal with
that's what I
whatever
think.
bad.
So do you think they'll show up in the next one?
Probably not. I
Because
think,
I was
like I
thinking,
said,
if they're going time travel with Sonic CD stuff, they might do some stuff where, I'm back, but time across space and time, where they're like, this is back in my old world. Hey, but probably like if they do, it would be sparing, and I'm probably putting too many things out there because I think they were smart to go about it in the way they did with one character at a time. Like we got one new, we actually got less new characters in this movie in a way.
It's actually making the movies more palatable because you're getting less. As a result, we're getting less human stuff as time goes on.
Yeah. So I
take notes. Warner Brothers Monsterverse, Legendary Pictures Monsterverse. When you put more characters in your movies, we want to see less humans. Thank you.
So
dude, Godzilla X Kong, New Empire or whatever, Age of Empires
Was it not
6
good?
or whatever, was so ass. Ugh, I hate it. It's so terrible.
What about Princess Sally Acorn? I don't think
I
so.
honestly have not thought about it. She's iconic, but I don't think she would show up.
Is she even canon in the games?
I don't think she's canon anymore. No, she doesn't show up in the comics. She's not in the games.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so we've narrowed it down pretty substantially. Rouge, a robot, Gamma or Omega,
Possibly.
Silver and Blaze, maybe.
We don't think the Chaotix are going to be in.
Not
Not Sonic 4.
Think,
I think maybe 5 or 6.
I think if we go with my theory that Mecha Overlord is the villain of 4 to give them an easier way to focus more on the main characters instead of fleshing out the villain, right?
Yeah.
And then that is our segue into the two-parter that is movies 5 and 6. I think that midway through movie 5, we could meet a substantial amount of characters and then flesh them out through the next 2 movies.
Yeah,
so
I think we're slowing down to speed up.
We could, in theory, meet all the Chaotix midway through movie 5 and then flesh them out through movies 5 and 6, you know?
Do we think we're gonna get Omega or fucking Gamma?
I feel like the winning pick would probably be Omega because Omega's more popular.
Is he? Because I looked up Gamma and Omega, and there was a Chad versus Virgin, and they were trying to say that Gamma was more popular. But I don't know if
that might just be Cope because Sega's favorite.
Well, isn't Omega fucking dead?
No, Omega
is dead. Gamma's
Omega
dead.
is supposed to be like a
yeah, I literally found this earlier.
Omega is supposed to be like a reincarnation of Gamma. Like,
so that means we have to get like Gamma first.
Version. Let me see. Virgin E102 Gamma attack.
Oh wait, never mind. It's the other way around.
Yeah, it's the other way around. Omega.
This
Omega
is the version I saw first. This is the version I saw first. That was saying
Bot Sonic on equal footing, has awesome legendary theme song, kicks ass with just a sniper missile launcher, is sleek and fast, fought against his robot Bretherton.
Yeah, this is all right. So this is already bad.
To save them because he's not ruled by his anger or hatred. Shares his theme song with Rouge and Shadow. He lives to kill Eggman and all of his other robots. Big and clunky, not as fast as Gamma. Has to rely on heavy firepower and using his comrades as bullets.
That sounds better.
His entire personality is he's angry and wants to kill Eggman.
That sounds better, though.
Right, no, you know what would be hilarious is if they introduced Omega, he had the same motivation, and he was like, I want to kill Eggman. And then Sonic's like, yeah, about that.
About that. Yeah, wait, so maybe he doesn't have a point anymore then, if he just wants to kill Eggman.
Oh, you know what? If we're going by my chaos rules, that might be what that he might not come then.
Because it's a shame because I wanted to see Team Shadow. Because I almost feel like if they're doing Sonic Heroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We remove the Amy Rose team and we just have Amy part of Team Sonic. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have Team Shadow, but without Omega, it's literally just Shadow and Rouge, and then Rouge is cucking him with Knuckles.
Hey, I don't think people need a love interest to be a Chad when it comes to fiction. I'm not an average Tumblr user, so I don't need to see my characters fucking to have them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it is, you know. Okay, so do we think Amy Rose? I hope they don't go girl boss as Amy Rose.
Who do you hear? Okay, so let's start talking about the stuff that I'm interested in. Can you bring back up the screen with all the characters?
Of course. Knack the Weasel? Is Fang the Sniper the same character, I guess?
Dude, like Fang the Sniper would be so random, but I'm an old head Sonic fan.
See, I didn't know those.
So if Fang the Sniper shows up in the next movie, everyone will be like, literally who? And I'll be in the back of a theater going, wow!
See, because
baby, that is what I'm talking about. He is in, I want to say, like, one of the classic games.
Because my first game was Sonic Heroes. Why is Tails' doll listed as a character?
Because Dr. Robotnik builds a doll of Tails that becomes like this eldritch robot monster.
Oh. So there's actually.
Anyways, so we know Amy Rose
Big the
is going
Cat.
to be there. We know Amy
Big the
Rose is
Cat.
going to be there, and we know Metal something is going to be there. So my question is, who do you think they are going to get to voice Amy?
Some celebrity. It's going to be a celebrity voice.
Really? You don't think they'll bring back a voice?
What do you mean?
Because they brought back Colleen O'Shaughnessy to voice Tails.
I think they're going to change Amy's character a lot, and I'm worried how much they're going to change it.
My biggest problem with Amy is that Sega has never really known what to do with her character.
Yeah,
is she a horny simp for Sonic? Is she like a humanitarian resistance leader? Is she just a girl boss? I don't really get annoyed by either direction in particular. I'm honestly at the point in my life where I'm just like, pick one. Just pick something. Make her a character. Give her a consistent motivation. So as long as Jeff, I'll wait and see the execution, obviously. But my first criticism will be, Jeff Fowler, can you make her a character who actually like moves in a straight line? Please.
Well, no, because she needs
That's
to.
my
Like,
thing.
I don't want her to be annoying about it, but she needs to be in love with Sonic. Otherwise, it's not the same character.
So
because
you want her
literally-
and Sonic to be a thing?
No, I'm not saying they need to be a thing. I think Sonic could even be Sigma, like he always is, and be like, yeah, whatever,
Sigma.
Amy. But
Sigma,
I'm afraid they're going to
Chang
do the thing they always do with female characters now, where they remove any attraction they have to men.
That could
know.
be possible because these movies are being made by Americans. So
You know,
that is,
so
that is a
I think they're gonna,
0%
they might
chance
do
there.
that. But my hope is that after she saved them, she's like, "Oh my God, Sonic, are you okay?" Because that is who Amy is. She, as long as you do it in a way where it's the funny amount of annoying and not the annoying amount of annoying.
That's
You know,
fair.
That's what I want. Like that's my
I'd be
ideal
iffy on
version.
that.
I'm afraid that they're just going to drop her interest in Sonic entirely, but my hope is they don't do that because I want her to be like in the original game when she first shows up. The first thing she does is you save her, and she starts walk even before there's no dialogue at this point. Sonic CD, there's hearts around her head, and then she gets captured, and Sonic has to save her from Nettle Sonic.
Yeah, I get you.
Is that she doesn't even have to be a damsel in distress. All right, so here's what I think happened. Now that we've kind of been talking around it, but what I actually think, I'm realizing we're talking more about Sonic 4 than Sonic 3, but that's okay. And it shows
It's
how
just
much
because it shows how good the movie is because we're
Yeah.
excited for the future.
Yeah,
we're
already.
looking forward to more.
Yeah. So I think,
And the movie's been out for 2 days. Anyways,
yeah,
continue,
I think
continue.
that what they're doing is, I think Amy is gonna, because I think the plot, she comes from like this other little planet thing that's like this metallic planet, right?
Uh-huh.
That was taken over by Eggman and Metal Sonic. Now we're gonna scrap Metal Sonic. I think all right. So you know he was away for a year in between Sonic 2 and 3.
Yes.
Now that I'm thinking about it, what if his whole plan when he created Metal Sonic, I think during this time, I also think him taking the thing was good. What if that his plan, his villain plan, this is a plan he made before he turned good in the end, right? So what if his old villain plans that he had back in the day have a mind of its own, and they went and took over Amy's world, and it's almost like them writing Eggman's last wrong. Holy shit, that's good. And then Amy coming in and defeating the Metal Sonics is like, all right, Sonic, oh my God, I love you. Please come back to, we need you and your team to come back and liberate my world from them. And then there's time travel.
That could be a
Sonic
thing.
CD.
That's a plot way to get rid of humans.
Oh, and then her world is populated with characters such as
Cream
the Rabbit.
Bean, Might, Cream.
Bean the Rabbit, I think will be there because she's just an Amy character.
Bean,
Big the Cat
Might,
will
Cream,
be Big the
Fang,
Cat will be
Ray,
off fishing somewhere. Then they walk. That's Big the Cat. Have you seen Froggy? No. Do you want to join me on my? Oh, that could be a joke in the movie. You want to help me, Froggy? That seems like it's gonna be going for a long time. We're good. Okay. And then he walks off. And you never see him again in the movie.
Or no, they do what I say they should do. They have like the plot happening in the background, and then it just cuts to Big fishing on the pond, going, "What the hell was that?" Anyways, click, 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 click,
Froggy. And then at the end, he could have his. So I think that they're gonna show up. I think what are they gonna do? Yeah, I think they could have, because here's the thing. I'm almost thinking like, because these characters almost look like bounty hunter characters. What if they just have them all as part of the chaotics? Like, what are these characters like Fang? Mighty. What does Mighty do? I don't remember what he does.
Mighty the Armadillo is just kind of a guy. He's kind of just there. He's always like just a friend of Sonic's.
Yeah, why were Ray and Mighty the ones chosen?
For being playable in Mania?
Mania Plus, yeah.
I think it's because they're part of that. Sega has separated the Sonic brand into two chunks. It's got the classic Sonic era and then the modern Sonic era.
And I
they're
guess
part of the classic Sonic era. So
I guess that they've decided that because if you remember, the saloon fight has these characters. So if they had a saloon fight, the shady characters in the saloon would be Bark, Bean, and Fang or Knack. Would they call him? Probably Fang, I'm guessing, since.
Probably Fang, yeah, because Knack is his name in the classic games, but Fang is like his mainstream name.
Knack 2?
Knack 3? What? Anyways, yet another IP that PlayStation is going to sit on and do nothing with. Anyways,
yeah, why is Fang the Sniper listed twice? Whatever. All right, so
he has multiple versions.
Yeah, I guess so. Ray the Flying Squirrel. All right, so I think that there are going to be some cameos in Sonic 4 because that's what I think is going to happen. Amy takes the Metal Sonics and goes, "You need to come back to my world." And these are Eggman's old creations that were created for a time when he was still a villain that have gone rampant.
You know, we could say that he built Metal Sonic in the year he was inactive.
Yeah,
but he couldn't activate him. So when he asked for Sonic's quill, he dropped it in and then he turned on. And then he sicked him on that planet and he said, "You go and build me metal crops that I can harvest to build more robots to make something."
And the damsel in distress is not Amy, but Cream. That's the perfect role.
What is your obsession with this little kid rabbit?
No, because I just know that they're gonna. Because I'm like, this is how they would make her useful. Because otherwise, she's fucking. What else is she gonna do? She's
not. She could just not be there.
She could, but I feel like she's too iconic of a character for them not to do anything. I'm more excited for Big the Cat. Personally, he's my most anticipated. Wait, now how are Rouge and Shadow gonna play a role in this though?
Because I feel like we can introduce Rouge in the Shadow Project with the Black Arms, and then we can.
Yeah, how the fuck is that whole is now? I'm wondering, like, if it's an Amy revolving plot line, how is Shadow going to be involved?
Well, after the Shadow Project, he might join the Wachowski family. Think about it. Tom, Donut Lord, and his wife. My dad pointed out something hilarious. He's like, "Wait, Green Hills is in Indiana? This random white cop married a black woman in the deep south? That's kind of crazy. Good for him." And I'm like, "Dang, I never noticed that." That's awful. And he noticed that while I was rewatching Sonic 1 like a year ago. I'm like, "Bro, really?" So anyways, they're gonna be like,
Sally
like 7 children, and they're all anthropomorphic children, anthropomorphic animal children.
I guess it's more socially acceptable than
I guess. Anyways,
mixed race children. No, I'm joking. I kid. All right, so how the fuck are? Oh wait, hang on. What if during the Shadow show? I don't think this is going to happen because it sounds like the Knuckles show didn't introduce any new characters.
Well, but remember, they're receptive to criticism, so they might be like, "Okay, we'll put something in here."
But what if they're like, Omega? Rogue and Shadow are introduced in that. What if by the end of the Shadow series, and this is in a perfect world, they have Team Dark is assembled? And then we have Sonic Team because in Sonic, it's like Sonic Heroes-esque with Sonic CD. So what if we have Team Sonic, which has Amy now, because fuck, who gives a shit about Cream and Big the Cat? Chaotix, if we meet them, it would be in a bar or something. They're like, we need information. We'll help you with that. They're in for a segment. They're out.
The Chaotix Investigators Guild will help you.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
something.
Amy's like, oh, and then this would be additional world building. It would be like, oh, and then we could even learn more about Sonic's past. Maybe Sonic's past is from Amy's world. Maybe Amy is from the same world because Sonic grew up with the owls.
In the other lores, that's how it goes.
So maybe that's it. Is she is the key? They go back to Mobius. Oh, and then Mobius has been taken. Eggman's plan. All right, hold the fuck up. I cracked it. Eggman's plan.
You're over here writing it for Paramount.
Was to go back to Mobius. Right? He found out he's been investigating between watching his Spanish soap operas. He's been investigating Mobius. Now he's dead, but his machines have taken on his plans and have captured Mobius and are more brutal than he ever could have imagined. Like, right? Mm-hmm. Amy Rose is a refugee and was a princess, kind of like Star Wars. Oh, they could go Leia direction. And she's coming to get, she needs their help of Team Sonic because they've defeated Eggman's creations before. Please help us. You're our only hope. Guides them back to more Mobius. And so they get to rediscover more details of their past while helping Amy. And so in that respect, I don't think Sonic 4 is going to introduce nearly as many characters as are going to be on this list, right? I really don't. Like deep down, I really don't. Now I'm looking at it and I'm like, if anything, yeah, well, actually, no, come to think of it, I do think it's possible that we could get introduced to, I think we're either going to get Fang the Sniper, Bark, but even then, I don't think so. I think we're more likely to get do you think we're more likely to get Fang, Bean, and Bark or the Chaotix?
Easily the Chaotix.
Chaotix, yeah.
Easily the Chaotix.
Because I was almost like, well, these are, if they're minor characters, they'll do that. But it's like, because you got to think, we haven't had any minor Sonic characters show up yet. That's why I was almost like, if anyone's treated as a minor character, maybe it'll be the true minor characters.
I think it's because the roster is just so
too big.
The roster of Sonic characters is just such banger after banger after banger. We're at the point where anyone could show up and it wouldn't get like a negative response per se. Like if the post-credit scene of Sonic 4 is Silver, Blaze. The post-credit scene of Sonic 4 could be SPO by himself, and
everyone would still
go crazy.
Yeah,
because that would mean the whole team would come eventually.
Yeah, that's the thing. All these things, like when Shadow shows up, yeah, it's Shadow, but we also know we're getting other stuff. Okay, so here's where we go. Okay, so we get the Chaotix. I think we possibly have them, but the main focus is Amy, because I think how we get Team Rose, not that anyone really cares, but this is if we're going Sonic Heroes, the way we would do it would be Amy would say, my friends were kidnapped, like her kid sister, Cream. That I think Cream would just be a plot device if she's, I do think, because of Amy, I do firmly believe, because she's in this hood, she's getting them, she has to save her world. No, I'm just saying,
he wants Cream in the movie. Paramount, for Von Coleman, put Cream in your next movie.
I think she's going to be in it because she's she's minor enough where she wouldn't take up a plot like Silver.
Oh, she's a minor, all right.
Yes, she is. She's a child that needs to be rescued. And Amy is not going to be the damsel, clearly, which means either that or fucking Sally Acorn, who's not going to be in the movie. No way. I think what they're going to do is, Amy's going to guide them back to Mobius or wherever she's from.
Okay.
We've been taken over by the machines to save. Like I said, I think Cream, Big the Cat will show up in a cameo. I'm going to lock it in. I think Big the Cat is going to make a cameo in Sonic 4.
Probably.
I think he's going to have a cameo, which means I think we're going to see the full Team Rose and then possibly a short segment from the Chaotix, but most likely not. I
think that Jeff Fowler is probably going to make, like, I feel like the movies have been linked. Yes, like there's a solid continuity, but I feel like the movies are going to get further connected. Like, you remember how back during the MCU Phase 3, there was that brief spurt of movies that were just, they felt like one giant chunk of storytelling, like basically from Civil War to Endgame.
Yeah.
It was like, I feel like we're going to hit that. If it's not in Sonic 4, it'll be in Sonic 5 and 6.
I think here with Sonic 4, the primary focus is going to be Amy Rose.
Yeah.
With I think Shadow is getting his own. I think the part of why Shadow is getting his own movie is because he's almost like preemptively saying we're not going to get a ton of him in Sonic 4, maybe a little bit.
He'll be the
last act.
You know how in Infinity War, Cap and Iron Man were operating on two different fronts?
That's what it's going to be. Yeah, I think
it's going to be like that. It'll be like that. Maybe in the Shadow Project, we get Omega and Rouge, and then that's their team, and they're operating on a different front.
Oh, and then the end cliffhanger of that would be, so I think almost like in the Shadow Project, the main villain could even be Omega and or Rouge. And by the end, they kind of break the bread and they become Team Shadow. They have their own human characters probably because it's the movies. Like their own version of the Wachowskis.
You could bring back Jessica Jones, and you could have Shadow reconcile with her.
Yeah, and that
was crazy. By the way, Jesse Pinkman's girlfriend really leveled up after she recovered from her OD.
Yeah. So I think, that's what I actually, that's a good point. I think she's going to be their human character. So I think that they're going to be Shadow. So Sonic and them are the more homegrown. They're working with the Wachowskis, and then Gunn. Maybe they
Shadow works for Gunn in every other canon. He works for Gunn by the end of his redemption arc in every other canon. So that makes sense.
So I think, and Rouge, if you remember, was always working with that Fed chick in Sonic X, and then Omega is a rogue, is a rogue robot. So I think my theory is ready. So we get Shadow Project. By the end of that, we get Team Shadow. Then it's almost like Amy is leading Sonic to save her people. And then along the way, we might learn more about Sonic's past with the owl people, whatever the fuck. Is there any precedent in that in the Archie lore? I assume so.
No, because Sonic in every other continuity, for the most of his life, he's just a badass loner. He has friends and stuff, but most of his life, he's just a badass loner. In older versions, like the Saturday morning cartoons or the Archie lore, he has like an Uncle Chuck who looks like him, but that's about it.
Okay.
So like Longclaw was completely new in concept. That's what I like. The owl chick has never been a thing. Okay. So I think that maybe for the sake of the movie universe itself, we might get more details about her and her people in the future. But for now, all they really have established is yes, she is probably totes dead. And Sonic is a good boy because he didn't let that death drive him to become a genocidal murder hedgehog.
I just thought of something too. All right, so we only saw one part of it. We saw the fucking God, what is it? The Metal Sonics attack Sonic, but we don't see. Maybe there's an attack on two fronts. What if the Master Emerald was stolen? And that's extra reason why they have to go. Amy goes, I know where they took it. They took it to Mobius. Follow me. And then there could even be a falling out at some point during the movie where Knuckles gets angry. And then Rouge is like, Shadow, like Knuckles, we'll help. We'll go our own way. So Knuckles could almost halfway through join Team Shadow. And their link between the teams. And by the end, so they're attacking Metal Sonic on Mobius on two fronts. Amy Rose, Team Sonic, and then Shadow with Gunn and Rouge on the other. And then by the end of Sonic 4, they beat their machine villain, like Metal Sonic or Mecha Sonic, whatever. Now we have more characters than ever, which means we need a bigger threat than ever. I don't know if we're going to do the time travel elements because that is a big part of Sonic CD. This might be too much for one movie, right? So I don't know if they're going to do the time travel, which is why I think they're going to sprinkle elements among. I think there's going to be elements of CD and elements of Heroes and elements of Sonic Adventure 2 and elements of this. But I don't think it's going to be a full adaptation of any game. But I think the central plot is going to be the CD plot where Metal Sonic, instead of Eggman, Metal Sonic's
the villain.
Metal Sonic has taken over this planet where Amy Rose is from, and their mission is to save the planet. I think that simple setup,
I'd be in favor of that only so we could have less humans.
that and so we can have more focus on the Sonic characters, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think they're going to keep the simple premise of Sonic CD with just more characters like Sonic Heroes. I think that's what they're going to do. And that means
and then
that,
metal will be the villain, so it'll check both boxes.
And then the little, yeah, exactly. And then the little characters that show up would be like, again, I think if it's Amy's world, I think Cream and Big. That's it.
Probably. Yeah.
The Chaotix, because I'm like, the Chaotix is wishful thinking. They'll probably be on the world. If anything, it would be like a little scene. I don't think, because at first I was like, oh, Fang, the Weasel, and all of them could show up in a bar. And I'm like, I'd rather have
Why not all 6 of them? Why not have all 6 of them in a bar?
If
have
they're
a
just
bar
going to be in one scene,
have a bar fight break out, and then have the Chaotix beat up the other 3 losers.
Oh, and Knuckles could be like, I like these guys.
Who's.
Possibly
I like that alligator. That alligator punched that polar bear's lower jaw off like the golden compass.
And then
let's hire them.
And then the next miniseries after the Shadow one would be Knuckles Chaotix.
Knuckles Chaotix. Paramount should hire us, bro.
Yeah, they should.
Paramount
We
just
got
hire
this.
us. We got this.
And
Jeff
then
Fowler,
suddenly,
Jeff Fowler, call me.
So then, like I said, Sonic Heroes. Well, I think there's elements. I think we'll see elements of Sonic Heroes in this one, and then 5 as well. Because we're not going to see all the Sonic Heroes characters show up in one movie. We're not going to see 12 characters in this movie. Like I said, I would be shocked if we're already because across 3 movies we've had 4 of them and a hint of a 5th one in Amy. We would have to introduce Rouge, Omega, Big, Cream,
all the Chaotix.
And I don't think we're gonna do that.
Yeah, no, we don't need that.
We don't need all of them in one movie. I think we'll get the simpler ones. Big will be a cameo. Cream will be a damsel in distress. I don't think we're getting the Chaotix, but it would be epic if we got the Chaotix. I think we're gonna get the one I'm most confident about getting is Rouge. That is the one I'm most confident about.
I feel like that's.
And then I just think the convenience one. If we're maybe again, it's just they're only linked in my mind because Sonic Heroes. I always linked Big the Cat and Cream the Rabbit to. But I just feel like if we're gonna have 2 nobody characters, make it the ones that are always there. That are like, yeah, they're always at the top of the wiki, but no one's favorite character is either of these 2, right? So that's why I feel like if we're having characters to rescue, it's not going to be someone like Vector, like, you know what I mean? It's going to be the characters that no one cares about.
Yeah.
And then, I think if we're talking by the end of the 6 movies, who do we think are the characters we're definitely going to see? Because we're so excited about the future.
Silver and Blaze. All right,
so
they gotta show up at some point. I feel like they might retcon it from time travel to space travel just for the sake of making the movie continuity easier to grasp. But I definitely think we'll see Silver and Blaze. They are too popular to not show up.
So I'm gonna write down all the characters that we haven't seen in the movies that we think we're gonna see. Rouge. For sure.
Omega.
Okay. Omega, no Gamma, right? Gamma, if anything, would be like a cameo.
I will skip straight to Omega. Like maybe we'll get like a blueprint that shows how Omega used to look and it used to be Gamma.
Or he's just a guy we beat and we're like, hey, I wonder if he had a backstory. And that's like an off the cuff joke. But even then, probably he's not even well known enough for that, to be honest.
We don't. All
right. I think because of iconography and because Sega loves them, Cream, because of Big, I think Cream is going to be a little cameo, and that's it. Maybe
Cream
at most
Big, probably.
At most,
probably, yeah.
At most, I think Cream is going to be rescued, a rescue mission. Save the little kid. That's it. Big is just going to be a meme because Big is too big of a meme that they like these guys. They have too much self-awareness. They're not going to go 6 movies without at least showing Big the Cat. It's going to happen. Now the Chaotix, you know what? I'm gonna say within 6 movies, there's no way we're going 6 movies without seeing the Chaotix.
Yeah, no
They're
way.
so I think the Chaotix, and then Silver
and
and
Paramount,
Blaze.
Paramount, if you bring Vector into your universe, please, dear God, do not have him voiced by Seth Rogen. Please don't.
Oh God,
I've seen fan casts of that. Don't do that. Do not. Please,
That's
please just
terrible,
don't do that.
dude. You could get Vin Diesel to play him.
I wouldn't even want that. I just
I
don't
don't
want
either.
either. I want either of those.
All right, the Chaotix, Silver,
Or
Blaze.
Dwayne Johnson. Don't have
Yeah.
him voiced by Dwayne Johnson either,
Yeah,
please.
All right, so we don't think they're gonna have the Babylonian rogues, right?
I think there's too many more popular characters.
All right, so now because these are just the good guy characters. Omega could be a villain. So who do we think in terms? Because these guys need villains to fight. Silver could be a villain role for a movie, but probably
I don't
not.
know.
I think we're gonna have.
go for.
Oh, all right. So here's what I think. The final nail in the coffin. I don't think we're gonna have time travel in Sonic 4, but I do think that element of Sonic CD and Sonic 06 is going to be introduced possibly as an end cliffhanger of, oh, you did this, you saved the day, but you caused this possible future, or I'm here from the future. And that could
I
be
wouldn't
setting
be
up
entirely against that. I would just, again, time travel is one of those things where it depends on the writing. So.
What if like we had oh wait, because if we're doing the Shadow series, I don't think is going to introduce because if I were to say the Shadow part of the Sonic lore is Rouge, Omega, and then Black. What is it? Black.
The Black Doom.
Yeah,
Black Arms.
Do you think all 3 of them are going to be in the Shadow series? I don't think so. I think they're going to stick with 1 or 2. I think Rouge.
I don't think all 3 will be there. I think 1 or 2. Yeah.
Which means I think they would probably be saving. Do you think they'd save? Because he's never really crosses over with Shadow. But do you think Black Doom would be a villain for like 5?
They might. That might be. Wouldn't that be crazy? The positively maligned Shadow the Hedgehog game's lead villain becomes the final boss of the movieverse. That'd be crazy.
Black Doom, because he's kind of a big deal.
He is literally just Eldritch Alien. So I would be okay with that. He would feel like a threat.
And now I think Jim Carrey will.
Although in live action, he would 100% scare the shit out of little kids. Live action Black Doom would be horrifying to behold.
See, look at that. The most famous villains that pop up. Really, because you got to think about it. It's really Eggman. So there's Black Doom.
I never thought Dark Gaia. That's Sonic Unleashed. That might happen.
I never finished Sonic Unleashed, but I remember enjoying it.
Dark
Babylon
Gaia.
Rogues. See, but like none of these
they're not final boss material. It'd be Dark Gaia, Black Doom.
I think if we get a 7th movie, I could see they could do a Sonic Riders movie.
Nah, I wouldn't see the point.
But I don't know.
Because Sonic Riders was kind of a early 2010s fad because of how popular skateboarding was. It's not like a...
I remember I never finished it, but I remember playing it and
it's good. It's good for what it was and when it came out. I'm saying it's not good enough to warrant being a substantial movie arc.
Sonic EXE. Sonic EXE. But here's the thing, you really think they're not going to touch Chaos?
They might. I don't know. I'm saying the way they've written it gives me the impression we're skipping it. I like how Sonic villains and one of them is listed as Amy Rose.
Yeah, why is she? What?
There's something about Amy.
All right, so I think because we've had Shadow, we've had Gerald Robotnik, we've had Eggman. I think Metal Sonic is our big bad for 4 and Mecha Sonic, right? Then I think we could go either Black Doom or Chaos. I think in the next 2, because I think we want ancient evils for heroes to come up against, which forces us to get. We want a villain that is like cartoonish evil that forces our heroes to come up with, and also we want, like, you know how Knuckles and Shadow both played the same role as enemy turned friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for the next one, I don't think we're gonna really, because I think Shadow is still playing that role, right?
Yeah.
And I think Rouge is still playing that role. But then I think maybe we could have the Chaotix inhabit that, Silver inhabit that role. Because Silver, if you remember, Silver and Blaze fight him. I think those are the characters we'll have inhabit that role.
All I'll say is if we get Blaze in this universe, have her be voiced by Anne Hathaway.
Oh, that's an interesting casting. See, like,
And then have
characters-
have Silver be voiced by like Aaron Taylor Johnson or something. Like make him super edgy.
I think Zavik is not gonna. I've never played that game, but did people
Lost
even
World is not. People like Lost World's characters and they like Zavik, but I don't think. Do not. No.
What about
not Zavik.
Infinite? Did people like Infinite? Because I remember
People hate Infinite. People hate Infinite. The only
'Cause they
reason
were
they want him
trying too
back
hard.
is so that the only reason they want him back is so that the story can shit on him. They don't know. Don't bring him in.
Okay, because I was really excited for Sonic Forces, and then because I was like, "Oh my god, Eggman's taking over the world!" And then I saw all the reviews, and I was like,
And then it was ass. Yeah.
that's unfortunate." All right, so not you. All right, so really, because this seems to not like Zavik.
Whoever made this meme is high. Yeah. Putting Infinite above Zavik is crazy.
All right, so we're thinking for the end of the next. So the next one is going to have Rouge Omega only if he's in the Shadow series.
Yeah.
Or movie. Or Black whatever the fuck.
Black Doom.
Because here's the thing. I think for the Shadow Project, I think what's the end goal of it? I think the end goal of the Shadow Project
Something starring Shadow. Investors wanted something starring Shadow. That's the end. That's the it.
I think that the end goal of the Shadow Project is we have Rouge, and by the end of it, because I think we're asking too much. I think by the end of it, it's going to be more character focused. It's going to be Rouge. We're not maybe see Omega and maybe see Black Doom, but I think the main thing is going to be Rouge. He wants his revenge on Gunn, and by the end, him and Gunn both change and are now working together with Rouge and possibly Omega. And I think possibly he learns more about his origins. Like, we have more about your origins. Black Doom sets up a future villain.
Maybe.
And then, but they're like, we'll tackle that later. And then they team up and they fight. At the end of they beat Metal Sonic together with Team Sonic. So Shadow and Sonic team, and possibly remnants of Team Rose, probably just Amy. Because fucking beat Metal Sonic together. Now we have this many characters, and then one of two things: either one, we do something with the future that Silver is there, because we're not doing fucking Iblis as a villain. That's not happening.
Because Knuckles already killed it.
Knuckles already
off screen before the series even started. I love that. That's the funniest revelation of the Knuckles series.
So that's actually really good. So we have all right, I need to watch the Knuckles series. So then we have Rouge, Omega, all right, so then we have that, and then I think our big bads will either have people that are already set, like Chaos could be set up or not, or we could have, because it seems like we've been keeping things simple in terms of villains, right? And in terms of characters.
I mean, that's just Sonic for you at that point. They try to keep it simple.
Yeah, it's true. But it seems like we're going to have, I think we either have, because we have Metal Sonic, and then we either have Iblis. No, not Iblis. We either have Black Doom. I don't know if we're going there.
Or Dark Gaia. Because Dark Gaia is worldwide. Like, Dark Gaia is a multiversal threat. Dark Gaia is basically Satan. So, like, I'm saying if we're going for scale, Dark Gaia is definitely up there.
I never finished Sonic Unleashed, but that's the Sonic Unleashed villain?
Yes.
But is it because Dark Gaia been in anything else?
The Archie comics?
But is Dark Gaia like, okay, is he like, because Black Doom is, correct me if I'm wrong, outside of Shadow the Hedgehog, he's had influence, right? Or no?
I mean, a kind of, a little. Again, he comes from like a relatively maligned game, so a lot of people don't look back on him positively. He showed
So
back up
from-
for Sonic X Shadow Generations, but that's about it.
So we're not all right. So I'm gonna say that if he's there, it's in the Shadow series, but I'm gonna say that for now, probably not. Because it looks like Shadow was crashed in from a meteor. Does that change Shadow's backstory? Because he was created in the lab, wasn't he?
A lot of people say that we're getting some foreshadowing to the Black Arms and Black Doom because they also travel on meteors. And so since the movie says that Shadow crash landed on Earth and the weird squid-shaped meteor disintegrated in the vial, revealing Shadow, a lot of people are like, that might be the Black Arms. So you never know.
All right, so it's possible. But so I think that if we do the Shadow project, it's not going to defeat Black Doom by the end of it. Do you think?
I think I'll be bummed out if it does happen, like if Black Doom is in it and then he's defeated by the end. That would be a bit disappointing because they'd kind of be marvelizing him. But
does he get beaten in the game?
Yeah, Shadow whoops his ass twice.
Right. So then why wouldn't it be?
I'm just saying he's a big threat. So he's a pretty big threat. He's like the hive mind of a Lovecraftian meteor demon squid beehive. It'd be kind of anticlimactic to beat him in one.
So who do you think? Do you think that would you want to see him as a final boss as one of the movies?
He's got the kit and caboodle to do it.
Would you rather have him? Because all right, so after Sonic 4, who do we think the main villains are going to be?
Probably Black Doom or Dark Gaia, just because of their scale. The only way to go is up at this point because we've got a huge main cast. So only so many villains are going to look threatening to them. We need someone with scale and power.
So you think Chaos or
Dark Gaia, Black Doom, Chaos, someone who's literally on par with like deities. Yes.
Okay. What about the Chaotix fighting some of them? Well, because they're going to be fighting each other again.
The Chaotix end up on Sonic's side throwing down against whatever on a regular basis. I feel like whenever they get introduced, they'll just take them with them.
Well, I think that because we could have enough small threats where, because I don't think Sonic and Shadow are going to be buddy anytime soon.
I think they will be after their chat on the moon. I think they will be.
Actually, they might be, but I think they've got still some fights in their future. I think
easily.
in Sonic 4, the first time that Team Shadow and Team Sonic meet, they're gonna fight, but by the end they'll work together. But there will be a Team Shadow. It might even just be Shadow and Rouge.
My team is better than your team. Oh, really? My team's better than your team. Fights.
Yeah, I think it's the Team Sonic is Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and then Team Shadow will be Shadow, Rouge, possibly Omega. Because Omega could have good comedic potential. And I think it's late.
I was going to say, it's getting a bit late. Let's wrap this up with our final thoughts on Sonic 3.
Yeah, which was the discussion we were supposed to have.
No, it's fine. With all this, we've covered a lot. Yeah. I think Sonic 3 is the best so far.
Oh, easily.
Of the Fowler-verse Sonic stuff. I think it's the best so far.
I think they're responding well to criticism. I think that they did a perfect amount of the human characters, which is barely any. But when they were on screen, I was like, "Yay, they're on screen!" I wasn't like Sonic 2. That wedding segment was horrendous. When they're out, when their human characters have to do something. Oh my god, it was like. So I think they're doing the right thing in moving away from that, and I think if what I'm hoping happens. I think Amy's going to tell them to come back to her world, is what I think. So but anyway.
Sure, she's there to recruit them for help.
Yeah, but anyway, I think it was great. I was really happy with it. I think Shadow was great. I wish there was more of him, but I understand because we wanted to give Jim Carrey and Eggman the send off that he needed, and it was such an amazing send off. Perfect ending. I wasn't even mad when they killed off this major character because I knew the actor couldn't stay around forever.
I love how Gerald dies. He gets a
Yeah,
supersonic quill to the
it's
ass, and then he
literally
gets
just
bug zapped.
and I
He's
love how it
bug
was
zapped.
like it's like there was no checking in on if he's dead. It was like that was it, and we just moved right along.
Yeah. What body?
Yeah, it was like that was great. I think it was a great send off to him, and I think most of this movie was setting up a future of more Shadow, which is why I don't think Chaotix and them will show up in 4. But I think it's setting up more Shadow for the future, which is why I didn't believe for a second that Shadow was dead.
I
and-
thought it was a not 0% possibility. I thought there was a chance that he might be dead because there are continuities where he dies. But yeah, with the
Like
shot
Sonic
at the
X.
end where he picks up the inhibitor ring out of the crater, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I missed that because I didn't know there was a second end credit scene.
A lot of people did. My buddy Ben got up and left the theater and missed the second post-credit scene.
Yeah, my friend got out and I was like, all right, I guess we'll start walking. He does this every time. And I'm like, and I looked it up and I was like, is there another end credit scene? I said, what you missed with the Amy Rose? And I was like, oh, okay, I guess we already saw it. And then I just walked back out.
Yeah.
I should have stayed.
It's all it is a camera zooming in on a crater,
Yeah, I watched
and then
it.
it zooms in on a ring, and then you see his foot.
But yeah, so I think this was setting up great things to come, and it was a great thing. It was a very simple premise, which is all it needed to be. I think sometimes the jokes were a bit much, but it made me laugh out loud enough times that it was worth it. I do think there are moments they undercut serious moments, but it also, it really tugged at the heartstrings when it needed to. With like again with the Maria stuff, when she shows up, I was like, no. So I think it was a really great movie, an emotional ride. I hope that they actually go more serious with some of the sequels. I hope, especially with the Shadow series, I hope they actually embrace a more serious tone. And if you want to keep it lighter like this with Sonic, that's fine. But yeah, that's my thought. But overall, very happy. My favorite movie of the year. And it felt like a movie that was made by and for fans like us.
Absolutely. The by and for fans part is definitely very feelable. I think everyone gave it their all. Jim Carrey especially. I think the C'est La Vie for now is good. I wouldn't be against him returning as long as the writing works for it. Or if they want to do like the Mecha Sonic mimicking Eggman type deal, do that. But yeah, I think it was a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely by fans, for fans, a healthy amount of fan service, good performances all around, healthy reuse of iconic soundtracks, really cool, unique ideas despite the homages to the story. Like, I don't think there's been like Sonic X did it once in one of their episodes, but I think that there's not normally a Super Sonic v Super Shadow fight. So that was pretty cool to see.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess there really wasn't.
But yeah, so 8 out of 10. We'll watch again because I'm definitely grabbing that Blu-ray.
Dude, I should get that too. I should get the whole collection on Blu-ray actually.
I already have. I have 1, 2, and the Knuckles series on Blu-ray.
Oh, you have the Knuckles series on Blu-ray? How much is that? Because I don't feel like paying for Paramount Plus.
I feel like it was like $10 when I got it.
Let me see if
I like that's the one thing about Paramount that I adore. They're like, oh, this series has been out for like 6 months. Time to release the Blu-ray because we know that people don't in fact rewatch things for 10 years like Disney says they will. So,
what do you mean?
Disney dumps a bunch of money in their streaming service shows because they think people are going to rewatch them for like a decade. And then when people stop watching it like 2 weeks after it comes out because it sucks ass, they lose all that money, i.e. The Acolyte, i.e. Agatha All Along, i.e. anything at this point. Embarrassment.
All right. Well, I'm going to look at this Sonic thing, Knuckles. I might get it digitally. We'll see. But $23 is not bad. We'll see.
I got it because I'm a completionist and I wanted.
Is it worth getting on Blu-ray?
I have all the Sonic stuff on Blu-ray right now.
Shit, I already got my Christmas stuff, but
Yeah.
I want it though.
It's all right. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Excited to see the future.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Fowler has found his footing finally, because the first movie was inoffensive, second one was dope, third one was just blew my socks off.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm very happy with what we've gotten. Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We should do this again. We ended up talking for way longer than I thought, and I forgot how big of a Sonic fan you are. Actually, I don't think I ever knew. So
Sonic was my gateway drug to geekdom. Everything else
one of mine too.
Came as a byproduct.
One of mine too. All right, we'll keep in contact. I'm definitely going to be texting you. I'm going to be doing some lore diving tonight and then pass out. Probably more tomorrow. I might get this series. Maybe I'll even start Knuckles tonight. We'll see. But regardless, thank you so much. And see you guys next time. Peace out and have a great rest of your day. I'm going to play the trailer for Phenomenova issue 2, which launches on January 3rd, the campaign. So,
all right. Good night, y'all.
See ya.
I just wanted to be like the Crusader Corps. Like my father. I thought with my new powers I could be. But I failed. I let everyone down. I got people hurt. I just wanted to make the world a better place. And instead I made things worse. But now I have the chance to make things right with the help of one of the Crusader Corps. The Phoenix section. And I will. I have to. Whatever it takes. I will find that spark again.